rivalry, Ole Miss and LSU, continues. A big game for both schools, but in particular, the LSU Tigers. As you look at the series record, you can see that LSU has the lead, and particularly in the last few years, they have dominated, winning last year's game by a mere 4 points in Jackson, Mississippi. And in the SEC, it's a big day also for LSU because they are still unbeaten in conference play. As you see, Georgia winning, Alabama still undefeated, of course, and the LSU Tigers would like nothing more than to win this conference game this afternoon to keep pace with those two great schools as well. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm Steve Zabriskie. It'll be my pleasure to call the play-by-play for you as we welcome you to the second half of our NCAA football doubleheader here on ABC this afternoon. It continues with the LSU Ole Miss game here from Baton Rouge, as well as many other regionals from around the country. And we hope you were with us for the first game, South Carolina and Georgia, certainly a great one. Working as our expert commentator here this afternoon, the former head football coach at Georgia Tech University, as well as Kansas and UCLA, Pepper Rogers. And Pepper, we have a classic college football rivalry this afternoon.
Steve, I'm real happy, of course, to be here with you, and I'm also happy to be at this great game. Ole Miss and LSU is really one of the great traditional games in the South. This stadium's going to be packed. The crowd's going to be so excited. They've been building up all that enthusiasm. And I think both teams have a chance to win this football game. I really mean that. I think LSU is a fine defensive football team, but I think Ole Miss, with their striking offense, is going to come out and give LSU all they can handle.
They have two fine young coaches at the helm of these two schools. Of course, Jerry Stovall at LSU is in his very first season. And as you know, he's guided them to a 5-2 record so far, largely on the strength of that great defense. Steve Sloan is in his third year as the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, and they, quite frankly, have had some problems this year. They are 2-6, but they have moved the football very well. They have a fine offensive football team. Defense has really been part of their problem, and they are led by an excellent quarterback in John Forcade, who's only a junior, but Pepper, he's already leading the Southeast Conference in total offense, just like he did last year.
Well, he's leading his team in rushing and in throwing, and his team in total offense and the SEC. He's got all the skills necessary to be a great quarterback at any level. Now, what he needs, of course, is some help from the rest of his football team if he's going to win, particularly the Ole Miss defense, to get the football back. So we're going to have to see if John Forcade can lead this offensive football team, not make any mistakes, and do the things that he has to do to win. Now look at him right here. He's running with the football. As you can see, he has not only size but speed, and Steve Sloan is so high on him, and Steve should know, being an outstanding quarterback himself. He can throw this football. He's got a fine receiver here in Tyler, the son of Bob Tyler, who used to be the coach at Mississippi State. This youngster has great hands and great concentration. Again, Forcade back to throw the ball, sets up, puts the ball right in. This is great timing on this pass. And, the receiver's head turned, the ball was there. Now watch this great effort to get in the end zone, and that's what you have to have in a football game like this to win. Now this is Tola, and Ole Miss thinks they have two of the best receivers in terms of hands of any football team in this part of the country. Again, you see the great concentration. He catches the football, and he strides out, and he goes in the end zone. Just a little pranced because it's a great feeling to go in that end zone. I understand that. All right, here's Kenny Hooper. Kenny's been playing fullback, and in this ball game, he's going to play tailback. He's got outstanding speed and is a fine football player. Now, defensively, Ole Miss, as we said, has had their problems. But this is James Otis, Steve, and you're going to see him show up today. He looks like a running back when he catches this football, and watch him stride out, makes a big play here on defense, and puts that ball in the end zone. And if Ole Miss is going to win, they must get some big plays out of defense.
Offensively, they, as we mentioned, have had some problems. They have, in fact, lost a number of running backs, and they've moved Dale Irvs, number 44, from linebacker to a backup running back position for this game today. So that, too, could be a big factor. On the other side of the field, of course, LSU enjoying a pretty good year in the Southeastern Conference, and they also have a fine quarterback. His name is Alan Risher, number 7, and their offense, although having some problems early, has really come on lately, Pepper.
Well, LSU to win this football game is like Ole Miss. They've got to move the ball on offense, and Risher has really been playing fine football for them. He's their second leading rusher. He has got fine speed. He's a big youngster. He has completed 50 out of 80 passes, which is a fine percentage. I love quarterbacks who hit a high percentage of their passes. That means he is not throwing the ball away. Somebody's catching the ball and moving with it. And what a name, Hokie Gaijan, a real fine football player. He catches this football, and then when he catches it, he does something with it. I used to love to throw the balls to backs who could run with it for a long way, and Hokie loves to run with the football when he catches it. He's an outstanding back. Believe me, he's a great asset, this football. All right, here's Risher back to throw, and this is Porter making a fine catch in the end zone, one of the best catches of the year. Great concentration over his shoulder in the end zone for a touchdown, and all receivers must have that great concentration. Now, this is the strength of the LSU football team, their defense. This is Dardar. I bet I've seen 5 or 6 films, and he's all over the field. He's an outstanding defensive football player, has great speed, as you'll see right here. But he is in the tradition of all LSU football teams. They run you down, and when they catch you, they're angry. So you'll see some angry defensive football players for LSU.
All right, it should be a good one. We have 2 young coaches, as we mentioned, and Pepper, being a former head coach and knowing both of these fellows quite well, I'm sure you're well acquainted with their philosophies in guiding these 2 football teams.
Well, this is the first time I've had a chance to talk with Stovall. You know, this is his first year as a head football coach, but I was really impressed with him. We had a great conversation on the field. He started out saying, well, you got little bitty guys this and little bitty guys here, and you know, but I looked at them, they're not all little bitty guys. And they are a fine football team, and of course, Steve Sloan, outstanding coach, and Steve's going through a little problem at Ole Miss right now, but don't count him out at any time. He's a great coach.
All right. Stay with us as we welcome you to what they call Death Valley. Ole Miss and LSU will kick it off in a minute.
Chevy Citation. We said it was a whole new kind of compact car, and we proved it. We put Citation to work with its front-wheel drive, room for 5, outstanding storage space, and impressive mileage. And now is the best-selling front-wheel drive car in America, with Motor Trend's Car of the Year award, 500,000 owners, and 6 billion miles. There's no doubt about it.
Chevy Citation.
It works.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Bring it to forth. This is Rally Leader. You out there, Chuck?
We're
pedaling as fast as we can.
Everybody else is here. Where are you?
Well, we've got ourselves sort of a weight handicap.
How's that happen?
You guys just brought the bread and cheese. We got a whole trunk full of Lone Brow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Well, we're glad you made us. Who, us or the Lone Brow?
Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers welcoming you back to Tiger Stadium here at LSU. And they call this Death Valley, Pepper, because when they get over 76,000 like we anticipate today and they make the kind of noise they can make, it is death to the other team.
It's impressive, believe me, when they come on the field and that crowd roars and they bring Mike the Tiger around the field and he roars into that great LSU crowd. I promise you there's no place like this place to play football. It's a real exciting and a tough place to play.
The LSU Tigers, as you see, coming onto the field under head coach Jerry Stovall, as we mentioned, in his first year, and the record so far, it's not too shabby at 5-2 and still undefeated, as we mentioned in the pregame, in the Southeast Conference. And of course, with Georgia winning today and of course Alabama remaining undefeated, this is a big game for LSU, and incidentally they play at Alabama next week. There's Jerry Stovall. Had a great pro career, was a defensive back, of course, in the NFL, and has really instilled an excellent defense here at LSU, a team that has always been known for their fine defense. LSU has won the toss. They have elected to receive the football, and the Tigers have elected to defend the north goal. The wind is blowing at about 5 miles an hour, swirling around the stadium, so it should not be much of a factor at all, as the flags at the top of the stadium are hanging limp. And the Tigers will be kicking off and going on defense to start the football game. And the Ole Miss Rebels will have an opportunity to show their excellent offense and their fine quarterback, John Forquet. Don Barthel, number 1, is in to kick off, and there he is, a senior out of Rayville, Louisiana. And back deep to receive for the Ole Miss Rebels, number 24, Michael Harmon, and number 25, James Harbor, both standing on about the 3-yard line. And there they are. Barthel. It's a line drive. James Harbor takes it. And Harbor gets upended at about the 18-yard line. Number 48, John Critchie, upends him. And here's the offense for Ole Miss with John Forquet at quarterback. The fullback is Danny Jansen getting a start today because of injuries. Kenny Hooper moving to tailback, the normal fullback. Breck Tyler, a fine wide receiver. And Kenny Toller at 6'2" and 190 is the split end. A return of 16 yards and 1st and 10 Ole Miss as they spot the ball at the Ole Miss 18-yard line. Fourcade throws on the very first pass, and it is complete to his wide receiver in the flat. Out to about the 23 is all as the LSU defense converges on him there. Gain of about 4 yards as we look at the offensive line with Pat Phoenix. Chris Cottom, number 77, a good one. At offensive guard, Coot Russell is the center in the middle. The senior from Memphis, Chuck Comiskey, will be the strong side guard. Mark Moore, number 70, the strong side tackle. And Billy Wise, number 16, the senior from Johnson City, Tennessee, is the tight end. We have an injured official on the field as you see him being attended to there. Play has been stopped after the gain of 4 on the completed pass from Fourcade. It'll be 2nd down and 6 when we resume. But, Pepper, I didn't see what happened to the official. Did you?
I didn't either, but 5 of those officials are from my alma mater, Georgia Tech, and I've spent a great deal of time with them this morning, and all of them very close friends, and so I'm anxious to find out who's down there. I didn't see what happened to him, but it's a dangerous thing being an official. Believe me, bodies are flying all over the place, and you've got to be active, you've got to be quick, and you've got to certainly have your eyes open. But even with your eyes open, I've been hit on the sideline a few times in my day.
Morris Harrison from Decatur, Georgia, is the referee. P.T. Williams is the umpire from Huntsville, Alabama. Robert Gaston, the linesman. The line judge, Robert Caldwell. The field judge, Joe Delaney. The back judge is Ted Thomas out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So while they attend to the injured official, we'll try to get a report for you. We are just underway. There's no score here in the first quarter. We'll return to Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge in just a minute.
Arriva, an all-season radio for the 80s. Even its footprint tells you it's different. Arriva. Today, you need a tire that gives you fuel economy and all-season performance, wet, dry traction, and long tread life, hydroplaning resistance, and dry road stability. Arriva. Even its footprint tells you it's different. Only from Goodyear. Goodyear. Quality and innovation.
No experience, no job. I could do that job, but who'd give me the chance?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place, it's a great place to start.
America's taxpayers are demanding accountability in public institutions. Nowhere is accountability more evident than in high school activities, which involve half the students of most schools at less than 1% of the school budget. That's the best bargain in education.
While we were away, Kenny Hooper ran the option, fumbled the football, and Randall Melanson picked it up. LSU has recovered and taken over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. And now we're back to live action. As you looked at the replay, Mike Montz, the ball carrier, running to the left, tackled by number 40, Mike Fountain, the senior defensive back, and gained about 2 yards is all as they mark it at about the 26. Give him a gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as they did not wait for us and unfortunately ran the play. We'll have an opportunity to show it to you, hopefully, again, as soon as we get the chance. Anyway, it is 2nd down and 7. LSU following the fumble recovery by Melanson. They are at the 26.5-yard line of Ole Miss. Alan Risher, the quarterback. And Risher is near the 15-yard line before he's finally hauled down. As he thought about throwing, hauled it down and made good yardage. Brian Kennedy, number 66, a sophomore out of Brentwood, Tennessee, made the tackle for the Mississippi defense. It's a gain of 11 and a 1st down for LSU.
See, the LSU football team is real quick on offense and defense, and Ole Miss has got to stay in their rushing lanes. They left them an alley to run there.
Officially a gain of 12 on the play. 13-14 to go in the first quarter. We have no score. Mississippi ran 2 plays, fumbled on the second one, and LSU recovered. Oki Gaijan. And Gaijan is trapped behind the line of scrimmage, but falls forward to the 15 for a gain of 1. 46, Bentley Burgess, the right defensive end, made the tackle. As we look at the LSU offense, Alan Risher, the quarterback, Oki Gaijan, who carried the ball, will be the running back. Mike Montz is in at fullback from Lutcher, Louisiana. Orlando McDaniel will be the flanker. And number 21, Tracy Porter, a good one, is the other wide receiver starting at split end. 2nd down and 9 at the 15-yard line of Ole Miss. LSU with the first scoring threat of the day. Risher wants to throw once again. This time it's incomplete and intended for Hokie Guy John coming out of the backfield at about the line of scrimmage. 84 James Otis, the left defensive end, was covering him on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Here's the offensive line with Robert DeLee, a senior from Clinton, Louisiana. Tom Tully will be the left guard. Mike Gambrell from Slidell at center. John Watson, the right guard from Bossier City. Dave Cook at right tackle out of Houston, Texas. And the tight end is Greg LaFleur, number 89 from Ville Platte, Louisiana. On 3rd down and 9, LSU from the Ole Miss 15. Risher wants to throw once again. Into the end zone and almost picked off. Incomplete. Almost intercepted by number 26, Johnny Burrow, the sophomore defensive back from Amory, Mississippi. The incompletion will make it 4th and 9.
Ole Miss is doing a nice job of disguising their coverages. They keep faking the cornerback like he's going to blitz from the weak side, and then he goes back and plays pass defense. And the LSU football team checked off and tried to hit the split end when the cornerback looked like he was turning loose, but he went back and made a nice play.
David Johnston, number 5, their kicker, who is 3 out of 5 on field goal attempts, will put it up. Robbie Mahfouz is the holder. They will mark it from about the 22. It'll be a 32-yard attempt, and it is good. David Johnston gives the 76,000 here in Death Valley something to cheer about early as they recover the fumble and take it in for 3 points with 12-17 remaining in the first quarter. It's LSU 3, Ole Miss nothing. We'll be back.
If the price of boots has kept you out of them, have I got news for you. Sears has genuine leather insulated boots and split suede hiking boots for just $19.99 a pair.
With lug soles, Goodyear Welt construction, glove leather, or split suede leather uppers and padded collar. Special purchase, quantities limited.
At $19.99, it's tough choosing between them. But at $19.99, you really don't have to.
At Sears, where America shops for value.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. The Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Betascan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
Next Saturday, an exciting NCAA doubleheader starting at 12 Eastern. Check local listings for the games in your area. Live on ABC.
Don Barthel set to kick off once again, as he did to open the ball game. As you look at him there, 24 Michael Harmon and 25 James Harbor are again the 2 deep receivers for Ole Miss. And again, it's a good long line drive kick. And this time it's Harmon. Michael Harmon at the goal line and jams it out to about the 18-yard line is all. As LSU with good kick coverage, number 29, Linford Hobley, a freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana, was down there to make the initial hit. A return of 18 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 Ole Miss at their own 18.
LSU has great special teams, and if you don't think football's a rough game, come and kick off will convince you that it is.
Bust that wedge a few times.
Oh, yes.
That's how you get from 6'2" to about 5'11", isn't that right?
Yeah, it used to be 6'8". I remember that.
44 Dale Erbs is into the ball game along with 38 Kenny Hooper as the 2 running backs behind John Fourcade. Fourcade on the option to Hooper. Hooper trying to get outside, finally is run out of bounds after a good game as he's close to first down yardage. The penalty marker goes down, however, at the completion of the play. Number 33, Alvin Thomas, and number 51, Al Richardson, ran him out of bounds on the far side, but a marker is down.
John Fourcade really got hit. He's going out of the ball game there. The cornerback really busted him.
If you can see just in the bottom of your frame there in the picture, John Fourcade, there he is, being helped off the field. The defensive end came in, or the cornerback, and really blasted him as he pitched the ball off to Kenny Hooper. That was not Fourcade, obviously, that we saw there. Fourcade was going to the opposite sideline. That was an LSU player who was shaken up on the play. It appeared to be George Atia, number 60, their fine nose guard.
He really handles the ball well on the option, but he really got nailed.
A gain of 8 yards plus 15 on the penalty moves it out to the 41-yard line of Ole Miss, where it's 1st and 10. Number 44, the ball carrier, Dale Irvs, fumbles a handoff, and LSU has recovered once again. Dale Irvs, who was moved from linebacker to fullback this week, and a new quarterback, of course, Skip Lane coming into the game. They fumble the exchange. Ramsey Dardar, number 98, recovered.
This is, to me, I wouldn't have a new quarterback hand the ball off to a linebacker, but you can't always remember who's in the ball game. And he got hit just as he got the football. And here again, LSU got the ball with a break.
Greg Bowser made the hit. Ramsey Darjar recovered it once again. LSU on offense, 1st and 10 after a fumble recovery. Risher tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Number 72, Woody Grigg, the sophomore defensive tackle from Winfield, Louisiana, breaking through to drop Risher for a loss back outside the 40. They'll mark it at about the 43-yard line. They get the 42 of Ole Miss. It'll be 2nd down now, about 15 yards to go.
Ole Miss is really playing the inspired defense, and of course their offense has made 2 crucial errors. But if they'll do something with the ball here, it looks like they're ready to play on defense.
LSU on 2nd down and 15. Risher to pass. Firing it over the middle, and it's complete to his tight end, Malcolm Scott. And Scott is down inside the 15-yard line of Ole Miss. Malcolm Scott, a sophomore out of New Orleans, at 6'4" and 230.
Well, you can see they split the middle zone here. They were playing a 2-deep coverage in the middle, and the receiver just went right down the middle, and he put 2 wide people outside to draw the defenders out, and he hit the middle. Great throw, great catch, great call.
LSU has fined 2 tight ends, Malcolm Scott and Greg LaFleur. They're both about the same size, and they alternate quite a bit. A gain of 31 yards, 1st and 10. Hokie Gaijon inside the 10-yard line of Ole Miss, down to the 9. Tackled by 46, Bentley Burgess, the junior defensive end, as you look at Mississippi coach Steve Sloan on the sideline.
Steve is getting older by the minute. He's a nice problem, but he's aging every second.
Well, you should know, Pepper. Coaching will do that to you.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't think I was only 25, would you?
Gain of 4. It's 2nd down and 6 from the 9-yard line of Ole Miss. Mike Muntz, the fullback, breaks through and scores a touchdown.
Tough play. Here we go. We see a reverse handoff and a trap on the 2nd man over. Great-looking football player. Starts out like the option, but it breaks back to the weak side with a trap. Touchdown for LSU.
Number 70, John Watson, the senior from Bossier City, with a good block in there to spring Muntz loose for the touchdown. David Johnston, who's hit on 11 out of 12 extra points, is on to attempt this one. Bobby Mafu is the holder, and it's good. And so with 10:31 remaining in the first quarter, I should say, LSU has capitalized on 2 fumbles to take a 10-0 lead.
So I said to her, why don't... Look how Dad's dressed. Snazzy. The cows won't recognize him.
I'm going to talk to IBM about a computer for our farm.
IBM? A computer?
It's a special demonstration. I'm invited. I'm going. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
As innovation brings down the cost of computers, more and more small businesses have an opportunity to put this technology to work for them.
Where you headed, Jeff?
A meeting with IBM.
Well, excuse me.
And if you've never worked with computers before, we'll teach you the basics. Soon you'll actually be able to demonstrate it to yourself.
I think I've got it. This can help cut my costs.
You in your thought, Jeff?
My cows are about to enter the computer age.
You think they're ready?
They'll be tickled pink.
Computers for people who never thought they could afford them, but can. IBM, helping put information to work for people.
ABC's Wide World of Sports returns Saturday, December 13th with an exciting collection of international championships and events here on the sports leader, ABC.
Don Barthel, number 1, again, is in to kick off. As you look at some of the crowd, and many of them are still coming in here to Tiger Stadium this afternoon. Don Barthel will kick off once again, and again for Ole Miss, the deep receivers are 24, Michael Harmon, and 25, James Harbor. Harbor on the bottom of your screen or to the right. Barthel hangs it up a little more this time, and number 24, Harmon, will take it. Harmon with a good shot up the middle and good blocking. Gets it out past the 25 to about the 26. 31, Tommy Boudreau. The sophomore free safety made the tackle.
Steve, one of the things that Ole Miss has got to do is they've got to be patient. I mean, you just can't get excited because you're behind 10-0. There's so much time left, so if they'll just be patient and they've got a good offensive plan, 4K is back in the ball game, and if they'll get a turnover too, this can be a very exciting football game.
We have a lot of time left, 10:26 remaining in the first quarter. 4K, as Pepper Rogers mentioned, back in the quarterback. He wants to put it up on 1st and 10. And the pressure does get it away and completes it. It's complete to Harmon, number 24, Michael Harmon, the sophomore from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Alvin Thomas, number 33, was there to hit him. A fairly good game on 1st down, however, about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Ole Miss at their own 32.
It beats a loss. He could have taken about a 6-yard loss. If he wasn't so agile, it would have been a 6-yard loss.
Rydell Melanson, who recovered the first fumble of the afternoon, was in there putting the pressure on 4K. They mark it at the 32.5. It's about 5 yards to go on 2nd down. And the option. 4K fighting for the yardage for 1st down. He has it as he drags a couple of tacklers out near the 40-yard line. Again, Alvin Thomas, 33. And number 22, Chris Williams, the senior free safety from Tioga, Louisiana, had to haul him down in the secondary.
You know what I love about that play? I love it because he came right back the same way that he got clobbered a while ago and fought his way and took on the same guys. He's a great competitor. John 4K. I love that.
There's the LSU defense and the defensive backs with Thomas and Williams, who made that tackle on 4K. It is 1st and 10 for the Ole Miss Rebels at their own 40. They trail 10-0 here in the first quarter. 4K flips it out to his tight end, or wide receiver Tyler on the outside, and Tyler is into LSU territory at about a 48-yard line. Chris Williams, number 22, made the tackle on Breck Tyler.
I believe he'd have gone all the way that time if he'd have got a block from the guard down there who was leading the play. The guard passed up color, it looked like, meaning the color of the other team over there, and it could have been a big play.
Danny Jansen, number 23, is back in at a fullback. Kenny Hooper, of course, having been moved to tailback. 4K now is 3 of 3 passing for 21 yards following that gain of 12 and another 1st down. They mark it at the 48 of LSU. Hooper. Oh, and Hooper takes the shot as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Hooper turned it up inside out of the tailback position, and number 58, Greg Bowser, really laid one on him. Bowser, a sophomore out of Franklin, Louisiana.
Here's a pitch sweep. It's a play that everybody runs in college football, and he turns up, tries to hit the hole and make some yards, and I want to tell you something. There was nothing there, and that's the way you tackle. That's the way you get your neck shortened in football. It's tough.
Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 46-yard line of LSU. To throw and completes it to Harmon, and Michael Harmon has a 1st down near the 35-yard line of LSU. Marcus Quinn, the senior strong safety for the LSU defense, covering him on the play, but they'll spot it at the 37-yard line. It's another Ole Miss 1st down, and Pepper, they're moving the football.
4K is really a good football player. This is the first time I've seen him in person, and he has a great arm. He throws that ball like a rifle, and they're doing a great job of taking advantage of what LSU is doing.
Gain of 9 on that one. Dale Irvs, number 44, in at running back, along with Kenny Hooper. As 4K flips it out to Tyler once again, and Breck Tyler tripped up and falls forward inside the 35. Number 11, James Britt, a junior out of Minden, Louisiana, was back there to trip him up.
That doesn't look like a big play, but that's like a 4 or 5 yard gain, and it means something. It means you're moving the football, moving the yardage, and you got to move the ball in football to have a chance.
Gain of 3. Right at the 35-yard line of the LSU Tigers. It is 2nd down and 7. 4K on the option once again, Kenny Hooper. And Hooper's inside the 30 before he's dragged down by Marcus Quinn, who necktied him right about at the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at the 28. And it's about a yard or 2 short of a 1st down.
Here's the option, and 4K, this is the toughest offense in football, when you can throw the ball like he can and pitch it and run with it. And Ole Miss has some offensive football team. That was the outside option to Kenny Hooper. Fine play.
3rd down, 1 yard to go at the 28-yard line of LSU. We look at junior John 4K. Kenny Hooper, straight ahead power over the 25 for the 1st down for Ole Miss. 51, Al Richardson, sophomore weak side linebacker, and number 34, Lawrence Williams, the strong linebacker out of Lake Charles, combined to make the tackle, but not before it's another Ole Miss first down inside the 25 of LSU.
I'm impressed with Ole Miss offense, their game plan. They are really well drilled, and they don't have a lot of great backs, but they have really a fine plan.
About 6:35 remaining to go in the first quarter. Ole Miss leading 10-0. Or rather, LSU leading 10-0. Ole Miss driving as Forcade cuts it upfield. And continues the Ole Miss offensive attack inside the 20-yard line. 22, Chris Williams, and 40, Marcus Quinn, made the tackle in the secondary as Forcade ran the option well.
All right, let's watch this. See, the cornerback jumps on him, and he's going to take the quarterback right here, and Forcade fakes it, and then ducks up underneath him, and then makes yardage, and then, of course, he better go down.
Danny Jansen, number 23, into the game at running back, along with Kenny Hooper. And the option again, this time it's Hooper. Hooper inside the 15, driving inside the 10-yard line. James Britt, number 11, one of the first ones to get to him. Along with 34, Lawrence Williams, and Hooper really did run over Lawrence Williams. Hooper now has carried 6 times for 37 yards. It's a first down for the Ole Miss Rebels at the 9-yard line. First and goal.
Another option play, option, throw, quick screen. That's been their offense, but they're really attacking the perimeter of LSU.
Ole Miss with their first scoring opportunity of the day. Remember, they had 2 fumbles that have cost them 10 points already. First and goal from the 9-yard line of LSU. And now, Forcade asks for time because he says he cannot hear the signals. And that is a problem many teams have had here, Patrick.
It is a tough problem. You know, the rule is, of course, the quarterback must ask the referee for timeout. He just can't turn around and look at him. And he's got to ask him. And then, of course, he's got to tell you, yes, it's too loud, you can't hear. Or if he says no, sometimes you have to snap the ball. But it is tough here.
And as you saw from that pan around the stadium, there are a few folks here this afternoon. As we mentioned in the pregame, the temperature right at 70 degrees at game time. The wind not much of a factor. The humidity very low, about 39% here. And just a beautiful afternoon for football. And the crowd close to 76,000 here. The record crowd is over 78,000 for a football game here in Death Valley. Officially, though, they hold just over 76. It is still first and goal to go at the 9-yard line of LSU. Forcade gives to the fullback, and Jansen scores a touchdown.
Steve, that was the first time that they had given to the lead back on the option. And John Forcade reads the option, did a great job when the outside backer stepped up to take the quarterback. He just gave that back, and he went right in the end zone. A great play. That's a fine-looking offensive drive right there.
Danny Jansen, number 23, who's starting in place of Malvin Gibson, who's injured. And over the block of number 70, Mark Moore, their senior tackle from Fort Worth, Texas, took it in. Todd Gatlin, number 90, is on to attempt the extra point. And Gatlin's kick is good. He is now 24 out of 27 this year with 5:09 remaining in the first quarter. Ole Miss drives and scores impressively.
All right, here's the outside veer option. He comes down the line, slips it to the back, going through the hole, breaks the tackle, goes into the end zone. Great read, great run, great call.
Danny Jansen, a sophomore out of Memphis, Tennessee, with a touchdown for the Ole Miss Rebels to make it 10-7 in favor of LSU.
Patience is a great thing. Now they're right back in the ball and then try to score in one place. That's really important. Listen to the fans in the stand. If you're a coach or a player, they want you to score the first play after the other team scores on it. That was a great drive.
A 73-yard drive in 11 plays. And Ole Miss really ate up a lot of the clock also, Pepper, which I'm sure they would love to do, keep control of that football.
Well, when you're the underdog, what you want to do, of course, is to eat the clock up so you shorten the game. And it's that helped Ole Miss very much on that drive right there. And if they can play some defense at the other end of the field, it'll help them too.
97 is John Hafner, a freshman out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, who will do the kicking off. Number 30, Mike Montz. Number 12, Eric Ellington. And number 25, Greg Lang are all back deep to receive. And Montz, number 30, takes it at about the 19-yard line. And Montz breaks the tackle and gets out across the 30-yard line. Good hard running by Mike Montz. Number 30, the sophomore out of Lutcher, Louisiana, finally tackled at about the 32-yard line of LSU, where it'll be 1st and 10 Tigers.
That was a short kick, and of course sometimes they fumble those short kicks. That's maybe the hardest kick to catch. But he made a fine play, made sure he caught the football, and then he made an outstanding run. LSU has some really fine athletes.
A return of 16 yards, giving LSU a first and 10 at their own 32. Montz and Hokie Guyjon in the backfield behind Alan Risher. As you look at Risher, the quarterback. Risher on the option, pitches it back to Montz. Montz with a good block on the corner at the 40. And into Mississippi territory as they'll mark it inside the 48-yard line of Ole Miss. Number 17, Brad White, the junior free safety out of Boonville, Mississippi, had to make the tackle and possibly could have prevented a touchdown. They really blocked the corner on this one, Pepper.
Well, LSU was an unbalanced line this time. You can't jump the quarterback like this. You got to play him slow, and they got a couple of fine blocks on the outside. Nice pitch, and it was an outstanding run-long game for LSU.
Gain of 20 yards on the play from inside the 48-yard line of Ole Miss. Montz running the trap back up the middle on a little counter trap type play. Gets across the 45.
That was
number 67, Danny Robertson. Excuse me, Pepper.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just said it was a trap, and it was a play that they scored on the last time we saw that play run.
That time, however, they picked up only 3. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go at the Ole Miss 45. Montz now has carried 4 times and picked up 34 yards. 4 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first quarter. LSU leads 10-7 on second down and 7. Little movement prematurely in the LSU line as whistles and flags are in evidence. Number 70, John Watson, appeared to jump offside first, the right side tackle. And we should have a 5-yard mark-off against the Tigers. Morris Harrison, the referee, moves it back to midfield.
Steve, one of the things that LSU's trying to do is they're taking their wide flanker and putting him up on the line. Okay, see, and then they put their weak side tight end in motion, which gives them an unbalanced line look with a tight end in motion toward the unbalanced side. Gives them a little extra strength.
That time, however, as you saw, Watson moved and took 76 Dave Cook with him. So it is now second down and 12 yards to go from midfield. Risher, as a penalty marker, goes down, fires over the middle, and it's complete. Complete to number 21, Tracy Porter. And Brad White, number 17, makes the tackle immediately, but we do have a penalty marker thrown in the LSU backfield. As you look at Tracy Porter, the senior from right here in Baton Rouge, who came into the game with 12 catches for 277 yards, and it is holding the preliminary indication against LSU. There you see the 5-yard variety, and if you have not seen that yet, that is a new rule this year. The illegal use of hands, the 5-yard variety, and in college football this year, there's a 5 and a 15.
I can't see who it is. But here's the pass. Oh, yeah, good throw. A little wobbly, but the athlete makes the play on this one. And too bad there was a holding on that because it's an outstanding play.
That moves LSU back to their own 45 and nullifies the gain of 20 yards on the pass to Tracy Porter. It'll now be second down and 17 yards to go. LSU with their own 45. Hokie Guyjon and now number 12, Eric Ellington, are into the game. This is Ellington. Ellington breaking it right up the middle and deep into Mississippi territory. As he's inside the 37 or 38-yard line, Joel Stewart, number 32, a senior out of Birmingham, Alabama, tripped him up in the secondary.
Just a quick draw, and he is quick. He gets a fine block, but he comes through the hole, and he shows some running ability right here. He is an outstanding-looking back. Quick draw right up the middle.
Eric Ellington, a 5'9" freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, who's come into the backfield and shown his stuff on one play. 2:53 remaining in the first quarter. LSU overcoming the penalty as they have a third down and about a half a yard to go. At the 38-yard line, Risher will just sneak it forward himself and appears to have picked up more than enough for the first down. Matthew Lovelady, number 95, the freshman nose guard out of Coldwater, Mississippi, made the tackle. As you look at the injured player, number 17, Brad White, being attended to on the Ole Miss sideline.
Quarterback sneak, still the safest play in football for the first down, and you don't take any chances, although LSU did fumble the ball 21 times from center early in the season, which did hurt their offense.
Mike Montz, number 30, back into the game, replacing Ellington along with Guyjon in the backfield. Guyjon on the draw. Guyjon runs the delay inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. 59, Philip Wiley, the junior linebacker out of Fairhope, Alabama, made the tackle. They mark it at the 33-yard line as you see the situation with 2:04 now remaining in the first quarter, and LSU leading Ole Miss by 3. Guyjon picks up about 3 yards on the carry. It'll be second down and 7. at the Ole Miss 33. Fisher to pass. His receiver fell down. No interference is called. It's Tracy Porter, or rather I should say, Chris. No, it wasn't. It was Orlando McDaniel who was the intended receiver. Melvin Brown tripped him up, but there is no flag. There is a flag, however, back at the line of scrimmage. There was no interference called, and the LSU partisan crowd doesn't like that fact. There was, however, a flag at the line of scrimmage, which appears to be against Mississippi.
The interference, supposedly the reason they're booing is that if you're for LSU, it's interference. If you're for Ole Miss, it's not. It's just according to which side you're on. And it might have been roughing the pass. Now, I'm not sure. I didn't see it, but it looked like the referee threw the flag. When the referee throws the flag, usually it's roughing the passer.
It is inside the 20-yard line as they mark it off, and as you see, it is a personal foul for roughing the passer against Ole Miss. LSU with the break, and now a 1st and 10.
Well, here's a quick look at it, Steve. He's back to throw the football. Here's the throw, and we can't see the finish of that, but obviously he finished him off, and it was a roughing the passer penalty.
Orlando McDaniel going down, no interference called, but it is a penalty against Ole Miss. As Eric Ellington runs his football, Grijon fumble, and Ole Miss has recovered at about the 15-yard line. Number 84, James Otis, recovering the football for the Ole Miss defense as Grijon took the inside handoff and dropped the ball on the ground.
Here's that inside trap again, and the one they scored on a while ago, and this time he's knocked down and fumbles the football, and James Otis, who we previewed in the show earlier, as quick as a cat, falls on the football.
That's the 3rd fumble we've had this afternoon, the first 2 by Ole Miss, as we look at it once again.
All right, here you go. You see he falls over an Ole Miss man, hits the ground, and it's down on the ball, and down on the ground, and it's Ole Miss's ball.
1st and 10. The Rebels with Forcade passing and completing it to Ken Toler. Toler fighting for yardage, may have picked up enough for a 1st down. I believe he has, near the 27-yard line. James Britt, the junior from Minden, had a hold of him, but Ken Toler, with extra effort, picked up the 1st down for Ole Miss.
Steve, I've heard these coaches say he's the finest quarterback they've seen. I heard Vince Dooley say that when Georgia was playing, because Vince always exaggerates a little bit, but he wasn't exaggerating this time. This man is outstanding.
Gain of 11 yards on the Forcade to Toler completion at the 26.5-yard line. On the option. Danny Jansen showing good hard running, and he's fighting near 1st down yardage. Marcus Quinn had to come over the strong safety and make the hit on him, as Danny Jansen would not go down.
Yeah, what's the hit on what? They're trying to get 4K here on the option. Watch it. Boy, it's a quick hit, but a great play. Outstanding running. And Ole Miss has really a fine offensive football team, but 4K has got to be careful. He's got to start falling backwards on those options.
Gain of 12 yards on the play. It's another 1st down for Ole Miss as they mark it outside the 38-yard line. Jansen now has carried twice for 21 yards. Ole Miss now out of the I formation on 1st and 10. Kenny Hooper. Hooper smashed behind the line of scrimmage on an excellent defensive surge by the Tiger line. Number 94, Lyman White, their fine senior linebacker out of Franklin, Louisiana, along with 58, Greg Bowser, making the hit on Hooper.
Lyman has led the team in tackles for the last 2 years, and he is an outstanding football player. Great techniques, and when you see this, you know he's a great hitter. Fine football player.
No gain on the play. It is 2nd down and 10. Maybe a half a yard as they've moved it out to about the 39. Forcade on the option again, cuts it up inside, fumbles the football. It's still loose, and LSU has now recovered at the 40-yard line of Mississippi. Number 33, Alvin Thomas, the sophomore from Donaldsonville, Louisiana, picks up the loose football just outside the 40 of Ole Miss. That's the 3rd fumble for Mississippi this afternoon.
And you can see 4K's athletic ability as he pulls out. He's running with the football, and he fakes. But when you start running with the ball, you got to make sure that you're not going to lose it like that. Quarterbacks obviously can do that sometimes when they run with the ball.
1st and 10, LSU following another fumble recovery as Risher goes back to pass. It's complete to Ellington on the backfield, and he fumbles the football. No, they call it incomplete. It's called incomplete. as Ellington was blasted by number 50, Lee Cole, a freshman linebacker from Laurel, Mississippi. Coughed up the football, but they say he did not have possession long enough.
I believe he fumbled the football, Steve. It looked like to me, and of course it's not a fumble because they didn't call it a fumble, but you watch this. He's got the ball. Now, that's a hit.
That is a hit.
And the ball is loose, and I believe that was a fumble.
On 2nd down and 10, Risher running the option. Getting it to about the 37-yard line of Ole Miss. Number 92, Kenneth Dotson, sophomore defensive tackle out of Nutley, Tennessee, and 46, Bentley Burgess, the junior defensive end, make the tackle. We have just 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 yards to go. LSU at the Ole Miss 38-yard line. Jude Hernandez, number 13, is in at a running back for LSU as time now has expired in the first quarter. Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with a near-capacity crowd on hand. We'll be back for second quarter action with LSU leading Ole Miss 10-7.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean.
That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, because we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Move it up, look it up.
Hey, Dave Tucker's turning 7-Up.
America is turning 7-Up. Reach it up, feel it up.
Mike Schmidt's turning 7-Up.
America is turning 7-Up.
At Budget Rent-A-Car, you're number one.
I'm sure glad I switched to Budget. Their low rates really saved me money, and Budget's located right inside most airports, so it's just as fast and convenient.
At Budget, you're number one.
When my company told me to rent from Budget, I thought I'd have to give up the service I'm used to just to save money. But frankly, Budget, you won me over.
At Budget, you're number one.
At one time, imported oil was no problem to America. Today, we import over 40% of our oil. If supplies are ever cut off again, it could affect your driving, your heating, your job. Texaco believes conservation must be increased, alternate energy sources developed, exploration and production stepped up, because none of us want to be caught over a barrel. At Texaco, we're working to keep your trust.
Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers welcoming you back to Baton Rouge as you look at some of the Ole Miss fans who've come down for the game. And LSU has a 3rd down and 7. As we start the second quarter of play, they lead 10-7. And they are at the 37-yard line of Ole Miss. On the counter option, Risher turning the corner and getting inside the 30-yard line down to about the 27 of Ole Miss. Number 32, Joel Stewart, and number 95, Matthew Lovelady, the freshman nose guard, making the tackle.
Risher, he is quick as he can be. He takes that football on the option to the weak side and comes out. You look at his feet. Got those great quick feet. First down.
Risher now has carried the football 5 times for 24 yards. It is 1st and 10. Fumble on the snap. And Mississippi has recovered. Risher fumbling the snap, and James Otis again comes up with the fumble recovery for the Ole Miss defense. LSU driving and now coughing up the football once again. And they'll spot it at about the 28-yard line of Ole Miss, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels.
Well, they fumbled the ball 21 times from center, I believe, in the first 2 games, and this is another one. And you just you can't do that. And that was a tough play for LSU, but a good play for Ole Miss.
Something that, as Pepper Rogers mentioned, LSU has had problems with, and I thought they'd corrected it. Kenny Hooper and Danny Jansen are in the backfield behind John Forcade. 1st and 10. The Rebels at their own 27.5. Hooper trying to get around the outside, is necktied by number 22, Chris Williams, the free safety, but picks up good yardage as he gets it out to about the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 4 yards to go.
Steve, you would think that Forcade would lose his confidence, but he doesn't lose it, does he? He comes right back and runs the same play. They can hit him and he can fumble, but he's got it.
He does get beat up quite often, but he keeps coming back. He is a tough competitor. Hooper now has carried 8 times for 44 yards. Ole Miss on 2nd and 4. Hooper again. No, this time It's Jensen, number 23, who gets very short yardage near the 35. As the middle of the LSU defensive line collapses on him there. 58, Greg Bowser, the nose guard, sophomore, leading the way. They mark it just across the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 yards to go. About 2.5 yards with 13:48 remaining in the first half. Buford McGee, number 10, is into the running back along with Kenny Hooper. Forcade on the option. Keeping has much more than he needs for the first down as he gets out to near the 47-yard line. 22, Chris Williams again, the free safety, had to make the tackle in the secondary as Forcade picks up 12, running the option very well.
All right, here we go. This is what we call the counter option. He spins to the right and counters away from the way he spins. Watch him take this football here now and fake it with his left hand. But then he does a smart thing. As soon as he feels the contact, he puts it away.
Buford McGee still in there at running back, number 10, on 1st and 10. On the option again, Forcade with a good hole. Into LSU territory inside the 35 before Chris Williams, number 22, can drag him down. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line of LSU. And the Ole Miss Rebels and John Forcade are on the move once again. A gain of 21 yards.
This is the outside option read. Watch him put the ball in the back stomach, and they close in on him, and then he ducks up inside when the outside man takes the man he's going to pitch to, and then he shows some real running ability. And this youngster is some football player.
Forcade has carried 5 times and already picked up 50 yards, averaging 10 yards a pop. On 1st and 10 from the LSU 32. Forcade to throw. Fires it, and it is complete on the near sideline for a short gain. Completed to Michael Harmon, number 24. His wide receiver. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play. James Britt, number 11, was covering him on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4 yards to go at the 26 of LSU.
You know, that's 7 out of 7. He hasn't missed one all day, and he's rushed with the football. I would say it's one-man game.
He is their offense, and as we mentioned before, he's leading the conference in total offense, and you can see why. Again, the counter option. Buford McGee, the runner. McGee breaks the tackle and gets down near the 20-yard line as he slipped through the grasp of number 40, Marcus Quinn. Number 22, Chris Williams again had to make the tackle in the Tiger secondary. It is enough for another first down for the Ole Miss Rebels as they mark it at the 21.
This isn't a real performance. I can't believe there's a guy out there that can throw the ball that well and still run the option like that and take the punishment. He is doing an outstanding job.
Buford McGee, along with number 23, Danny Jensen, are the 2 running backs. Forcade again. This time it's McGee. McGee running hard, drives it inside the 20. They'll mark it at the 17-yard line of LSU. 94, Lyman White in on the tackle along with, again, Chris Williams.
You know, the one thing that LSU must do to support this option, their safety man, their free safety man, must support the option and take the pitch. And when you have to support the option with your free safety, you are certainly vulnerable to the pass.
Timeout has been called by the Ole Miss Rebels. And we have 11:19 remaining in the second quarter. We'll return to Baton Rouge and LSU Stadium in just a minute.
MCs love RVs. CBs love RVs. UFOs love RVs. You and I love America's roast beef. Yes, sir. GIs love RVs. ESPs love RVs. You and I love roast beef at Arby's. You and I love roast beef at Arby's. Nutritious, delicious, America's roast beef. Yes, sir.
Why do I need a new 81 Chevy pickup? Well, if I were getting smaller and my cargoes were getting smaller, bigger gas prices wouldn't be such a problem. I just get a small pickup. But I need a full-size cab, and I've still got payloads up to 2,500 pounds to move. So I'm glad this new Chevy pickup has as much room and load space as ever. With even better EPA mileage estimates than last year. The right size pickup for full-size jobs. Chevy Trucks, an important step ahead. Eat
Each level of NCAA football has its own competitive excitement and thrills. This includes the 110 Division II and 189 Division III colleges. Join in the colorful traditions at a Division II or III game in your area.
There's the LSU Tiger on the sideline, exhorting his team and fans on. And there's the old Rebel of Ole Miss on the other side of the field. Well, the costume might be a little warm. Second down, 6 yards to go. Forcade pulls it down and tries to get some yardage, but cannot. Number 98, Ramsey Dardar, the sophomore from Cecilia, Louisiana. And number 58, Greg Bowser, the nose guard. Haul him down. Lyman White, number 94, also in on the play.
Steve, that's where quarterbacks can lose the game for you, by pitching off of something like that. He made a smart play, and if they're going to win, he's got to make plays like that as well as a good one.
10:50 remaining in the first half of play. 10-7, LSU leading Ole Miss. The Rebels threatening on 3rd down and 7. Kenny Hooper. And Kenny Hooper does not pick up enough for the first down. It appears he'll be a little bit short of the needed yardage as he gets near the 11-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 12. And they bring up 4th down and 1 as Tim Joyner, number 92, and Ramsey Dardar, number 98, combined for the defensive stop.
Well, they're going for it, and in this situation right here, I assume they're going for it, but I believe you should go for it. You're an underdog. It's a very short distance, and I would go for it.
Well, they're going to talk about it because Ole Miss has called a timeout with 10:25 remaining in the second quarter. So we'll take a timeout as well and be back to Tiger Stadium in just a minute.
In this country, winter isn't a season. It's a warning, telling you it's time to move down from the cold, down toward a place called Miller Time, and the best tasting beer you can find.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Your next long-distance call may be transmitted by satellite. The signals being sent and received from places like this called Earth stations. It's our latest way of preparing for the future, when telephone traffic gets heavier and heavier. Because you see, each one of the satellites can handle 18,000 calls at once.
G.
No, GTE.
Friday, December 5th at 8 Eastern, your favorite television stars come out fighting in a 2-hour special. It's an all-new Battle of the Network Stars, December 5th on ABC.
Ole Miss going for it on 4th down and 1 at the 12-yard line. LSU with a goal line defense. Kenny Hooper has it as he powers inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 8-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for Ole Miss. Ramsey Dardar and Rydell Melanson made the tackle.
All right, here's the outside option right there. Gives the ball to Hooper behind fine blocking, and I didn't think there was any question that they were going to go for that, and Steve Sloan came up with the right play.
Buford McGee fighting to the 5-yard line. 51, Al Richardson, the weak side linebacker. One of the first defenders there, as Ole Miss is trying to regain the lead. Along with number 58, Greg Bowser, the nose guard, who's just now getting up.
More important than that, they're also doing what we said a while ago. They're eating up a lot of time on that clock. It's running down. They haven't stopped the clock with any incomplete passes.
2nd down and goal at the 5-yard line. Ole Miss trying to take the lead away from LSU. Buford McGee on the pitch. McGee blasted out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Chris Williams and Lyman White combined to make the hit on him. They mark it just inside the 3 where it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Option play, still the toughest play to defense in football, and particularly down the goal line, and that's why Ole Miss is really so tough. They can run that option and still throw the sprint out passes that you have to have to score when you get inside the 10.
Forcade with 99 yards of total offense already this afternoon. On 3rd down and goal, a penalty marker goes down, and it appears as if Ole Miss has scored a touchdown. Kenny Hooper, the ball carrier, but remember, a penalty marker was dropped.
Ole Miss was offside.
Preliminary indication is illegal motion against the Ole Miss Rebels. And that will nullify Kenny Hooper's touchdown run from the 3-yard line. They'll move it back out to the 8, or about the 7.5, as you see the referee Morris Harrison indicating motion against Ole Miss. That's the second penalty on the Rebels for 20 yards.
One of the things that's difficult when you get inside the 10-yard line, the 3-yard line, is it's a great, there's a lot of crowd noise, and sometimes they can't hear the snap count.
That may be what happened, because remember, both ends of this stadium are closed. The end they are at now has the double deck. Forcade on 3rd and goal. Into the end zone. Toller fighting for the football. Incomplete. Toller was defensed beautifully by Marcus Quinn, the senior strong safety. And Toller made a good fight for the football, but came down out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 4th and goal from the 8-yard line as we look at the play once again.
Now, this is one of the things I really don't like about what John Forcade does sometimes. Really, he was trapped, and he threw that ball up, and it could have been intercepted, and you need a field goal here. You can't come away with nothing. But it was a great defensive play.
And a field goal is what they're going to get, apparently, as Todd Gatlin, number 90, is in. He's 2 out of 5. And it's good. So Gatlin hits it from about 26 yards out with 9:09 remaining in the first half of play. Ties the score at 10-10. We'll return to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Ole Miss and LSU going at it in the Southeast Conference in just a minute.
Oh, Mr. Goodwrench, can I get a tune-up?
Sure can.
What's that?
Your written estimate.
Mr. Goodwrench wants you to know in advance just about how much the job will cost. He has the GM training and tools available to do the job right.
Gee, that's reasonable.
Mr. Goodwrench knows our customers don't like surprises.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts.
It's your skin, baby, and I like it very, very smooth. That means a super close shave. So trust Noxzema, because you'll need all the soothing comfort you can get. Like I said, it's your skin, baby, and I like it very, very, very smooth. That feel good? For shaves this close, trust Noxzema. It's your skin, baby.
Next Saturday, an exciting NCAA doubleheader starting at 12 Eastern. Check local listings for the games in your area. Live on ABC.
Joe Campanova, number 94, a freshman kicker out of Clarksdale, Mississippi, will boot it. And Eric Ellington will take it at the 4-yard line. Ellington breaks the tackle and almost does break it as he gets out to the 28. Number 41, Wally Knox, a sophomore out of Brentwood, Tennessee, made the tackle on very quick Eric Ellington. A return of 24 yards. LSU now with the score tied 10-10 has a 1st and 10 at their own 33.5. We have 9:03 as you look at Jerry Stovall in his first year at the helm of LSU. 9:03 remaining in the first half. Jude Hernandez, number 13, in at running back with Mike Muntz as Risher sprints out on 1st and 10 and completes the pass. Orlando McDaniel, number 32, picks up very close to the needed first down yardage as they mark it at the 38-yard line. A gain of 9 yards on the play. Melvin Brown, number 21, made the tackle in the Mississippi secondary.
Risher's rolling out in behind his 2 backs. It was really tough to throw the ball on timing, rolling with the football, but he made a fine throw, and that's a great compliment to the quarterback. It's a hard throw.
Gain of 9. It's 2nd down and 1. Jude Hernandez, the fullback, fighting for yardage, picking up the first down and gaining about 3 yards to the 41-yard line. Nikita Williams, number 41, a sophomore linebacker out of Margaret, Alabama, along with 88, Bob Blakemore, freshman defensive end from Humboldt, Tennessee, is the tackle on Jude. Hernandez, a junior from here in Baton Rouge, seeing his first carry of the afternoon. On 1st and 10. Mike Muntz trapped in the backfield. Excellent defense by the Ole Miss Rebels as Muntz is thrown at the 39-yard line for a loss by number 66, Brian Kennedy, and number 46, Bentley Burgess, the defensive end on the left side, also coming through.
All right, let's look at this Ole Miss defense. They have really penetrated today, gotten in the backfield, and when you get into the backfield at the point of attack, there really is no place to run. I don't care how good you are and what kind of athletic ability you have. You just take away everything.
It is now second down, about 12 yards to go. Risher to pass. Under pressure. Now, gonna run it. Risher flipping over a tackler and very close to the first down as he's in to Ole Miss territory at the 49-yard line. He'll be about a yard short, probably, of the first down yardage. But a great, great play.
Well, as I said earlier, he has great feet. Watch his feet. He's got great quick. Look at his feet, moving his feet. He gets away from one rush. Another man comes over and gives him a move, goes by him. And this is how you win football games with quarterbacks who go back to pass, they trap, and then they make a first down on it.
Eric Ellington into the backfield along with Hokie Gallagher as we have third down and 1 yard to go just outside the 49 of Ole Miss. Risher on the option to Guyjon. Fumbles the football. Risher falls on it back around the 42-yard line. Guyjon slipping a tackle, but was stripped of the football. And on third down and 1, they lose about 9 yards.
That's a great defensive play by the cornerback. All right, let's look at this. He comes down the line. It's a speed option to the outside. He pitches the ball, but watch the cornerback put his headgear right on that football and knock it in the backfield. First punt of the game.
David Johnston in to punt. And Michael Harmon returns it outside the 30-yard line. Ole Miss will have the football back following that great defensive play with pretty good field position. 6:08 to go in the second quarter. We're tied 10-10.
Why? The question is why? The question is why?
81 Caprice Classic. You can spend more. The question is, why? Why spend more for a smooth, quiet ride, plus room and luxury like this? Why pay more for V6 mileage estimates like these? Chevrolet Caprice Classic. You can spend more.
The question is why?
Foreign oil. We know the consequences. Higher prices, political instability. So America is working hard to reduce our dependence by increasing the use of our own energy resources. At Westinghouse, we're using our technology to get more energy out of coal and nuclear. And we're working on solar, fusion, fuel cells, and other renewable sources to serve our children for generations. Westinghouse, a powerful part of your life.
Jerry Stovall conferring with one of the officials on the sideline as Ole Miss has the football back following an excellent defensive play by Melvin Brown, a sophomore out of Biloxi, Mississippi, who came through to strip the football from Guyjon on that 3rd and 1 carry. It looked as if Guyjon would pick up the first down. Consequently, Ole Miss had to punt. And a punt of 37 yards gives Mississippi a 1st and 10. Danny Jansen and Kenny Hooper in the backfield from their own 33. Forcade on the option to Kenny Hooper. Hooper turning the corner and getting out to about the 38-yard line of Ole Miss before he's driven out of bounds by Alvin Thomas, the sophomore defensive back from Donaldsonville, Louisiana.
Kenny Hooper has outstanding speed. He ran a 9.7 in high school, and you can see he uses his speed here to get outside. Safety man supporting the play, makes a hit, and there's a lot of hit. That's close to being a late hit, but it's right in front of the LSU bench, and they don't call him too many times in front of their own bench.
Second down, 5 yards to go from the 38 of Ole Miss. Jansen on the pitch. Jansen gets tripped up and buried as he crosses the 40-yard line. Lyman White was actually blocked on the play, but made a good defensive stop as he tripped him up. Leonard Marshall, number 97, covered him at the 42-yard line of Ole Miss, 1 yard short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
That was a great play. I mean, they pulled the tackle and the quarterback got hit. Just he faked the back, and then he still got the pitch off. That was really quick hands.
We have 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter. We're tied 10-10 here in Baton Rouge. On 3rd down and 1, Ole Miss at their own 42. Hooper fumbles the football. LSU has recovered. Alan Richardson, number 51, appeared to have covered the football after Lyman White, number 94, blasted Kenny Hooper.
This is some hit. Now this is what you call a created fumble. He hits him, and this shot right there with that headgear right on that football. Lyman White, what a play. but he led the team in tackles last year, and he's some player.
Richardson falling on the ball and pulling it in, and there he is on the sideline as we continue to have the turnovers, and perhaps that's an indication of just how hard-hitting a game we're having this afternoon. Mike Montz and Jude Hernandez in the backfield behind Risher on 1st and 10, LSU at the Ole Miss 40. Risher pitching to Montz. Montz gets a block on the corner and drives it into Ole Miss territory at the 27-yard line. Malcolm Scott, the tight end, made a beautiful block on the corner, and Johnny Burrow, number 26, and Wally Knox, 41, had to combine for the tackle in the secondary.
This outstanding blocking. The tackle jumps on the quarterback, makes him pitch. Outstanding block by the lead blocker. Montz has the football, and he goes all the way into the secondary before he's even touched.
Gain of 14 yards to the 26-yard line of Ole Miss. 1st and 10, Tigers. Risher on the option. Pitches it to Hernandez down the sideline. Breaks the tackle inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Wrapped up by 21 Melvin Brown, but Jude Hernandez went down the sideline in a beautiful execution of the option and some excellent running on Jude's part himself.
We are seeing two of the best option teams out of the Veer in college football, believe me, and it's the toughest play in football. Great pitch. Down the sideline, flips the tackle, look at the downfield blocks, an outstanding block, and he goes all the way down the 2-yard line. But these two quarterbacks are about as good at running the option as any two I've seen.
Jude Hernandez, the junior from Baton Rouge, picks up 24 yards. Now Mike Montz is back in with Gaijon, and Gaijon tries to go over the top, but does not make it as the Rebel defense, and 58, Keith Forcade, the brother of the quarterback John, one of the first ones there to make the hit defensively, throws Gaijon back. They'll mark it at the 1-yard line for a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and goal as you look at Steve Sloan in his 3rd year at the helm of Ole Miss with a record of 46, 40, and 2 coming into this game. They've had their problems this year, but they are playing football today. We're tied 10-10 here in the 2nd quarter on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Risher fighting but does not get in. Fine defense. Number 59, Philip Wiley, grabbing Risher around the shoulder pads and hauling him down at the 1 at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
All right, I love the defensive play here. This is a great play. Watch Wiley. He's a linebacker coming from the inside out, but look at the cornerback supporting. It was just such aggressive defense that time down there, Steve, and they were determined he wasn't going to get in that time.
The clock continues to run with 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first half, and now, after taking a great deal of time in the huddle, LSU wants to take a timeout. Stop the clock with 3:14 remaining in the first half. It'll be 3rd down and goal at the 1-yard line as Risher confers with Stovall and his assistants. A reminder that coming up at halftime of today's game, ABC News Halftime Report will bring you the latest developments on the situation in Iran. And then tomorrow, in a special edition of Issues and Answers, Peter Jennings will talk via satellite to Iran's Foreign Minister Zareb Ghazbadeh at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, followed immediately by an interview with the United States Secretary of State Edmund Muskie at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's a special edition of ABC News Issues and Answers tomorrow over most of these ABC stations. And, of course, our halftime report, ABC News Halftime Report at halftime of our game here today with Lynn Shearer reporting. Here's one for you, Pepper. Mississippi State has knocked Alabama from the unbeaten rank 6-3.
Well, you know what that means, don't you? That means that my old school, UCLA, and one of my former assistants, Terry Donahue, has a chance to be the #1 team in America. That is some upset.
And it also is good for LSU because it gives the Tigers an opportunity by winning here today to remain unbeaten in the Southeast Conference and keep pace with Georgia. On 3rd down and goal at the 1-yard line. Risher on the option, scores a touchdown. Alan Risher takes it in from 1 yard out. And LSU is back up on top 16-10.
That was a nice-looking play, just a fine play by the quarterback, Risher. He's a great competitor.
Here he is again, the sophomore from Slidell, Louisiana.
Speed option down the line. He sees a hole. He turns up. He slides off the tackle and puts that ball in the end zone. And LSU takes the lead again.
David Johnston is on to attempt the extra point. Also does the punting. Robbie Mahfouz will be the holder. Johnston splits the uprights with 3:10 remaining in the first half of play. It is now LSU 17, Ole Miss 10. A big, big touchdown, perhaps, for LSU.
Well, since Alabama lost and they're right in the thick of the thing, and Georgia, of course, is still undefeated in the conference, LSU is leading this football game 17-10. But Ole Miss, they've lost 4 fumbles, and they're still in the ball game, so you know they're playing good football.
In fact, almost every score we've had today by either team has come as a result of a turnover.
Well, if Ole Miss can hold on to the football, they'll be in the ball game with anybody because they have some talent in that quarterback, and the rest of their football team is playing with great enthusiasm.
There you look at the deep receivers. 24 nearest to you was Michael Harmon, and 25 James Harbor. As Don Barthel, number 1, is in to kickoff, a senior from Rayville, Louisiana. Booting it for the LSU Tigers, who now lead 17-10 with 3:10 remaining in the second quarter. Harbor will take it 2 yards deep, and Harmon tells him, don't do it. So he doesn't.
That was close.
That was close. He almost stepped out. It'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20, and Ole Miss will have 1st and 10 with 3:10 still remaining on the clock with which to operate. Marcus Moore, number 95, incidentally, was injured on the play as we look at it once again.
Well, look at this. You know, he almost, look at this. Whoops. Wow.
Very close.
But he wasn't, it was a good call. I'd hate to be on the other side looking at that. I'd think, oh, he put his toe on the line, but he was fine.
There's Marcus Moore, number 95 of LSU. He's a freshman from Shreveport who was injured on the kickoff play, and as Pepper Rogers mentioned earlier, that's where many injuries occur because that is where it is really, really tough. There's a lot of hitting going on at full speed. Let's take this opportunity to remind you of other programming coming up here on ABC. Of course, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Monday night live at 9 Eastern and 8 Central Time. The Chicago Bears against the Cleveland Browns. The explosive Cleveland Browns, who are coming off that upset of the Pittsburgh Steelers, will take on the great Walter Payton-led Chicago Bears. Live at 9 Eastern and 8 Central Time. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football over most of these ABC stations. Marcus Moore helped to the sidelines as now it is 1st and 10 Ole Miss. Danny Jensen and Kenny Hooper in the backfield behind Forcade. The Rebels operating from their own 20. Forcade to pass. Dumps it off to Brett Tyler. Tyler hit behind the line of scrimmage and driven out of bounds. Number 33, Alvin Thomas, the first one to him, and then Al Richardson, number 51, drove him out of bounds, and they may have lost about a half a yard as they mark it at the 19.5.
This is a quick screen, and you're going to see some hitting in this play. Watch this. There's a shot right there. He comes off that shot, but here come the linebackers, and they take him, and that's you can see that they don't really like one another at this particular time of the ball game.
3 minutes and 3 seconds as the clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play. Ole Miss with plenty of time to come back before the end of the first half. Forcade on 2nd down, fires it complete at the 32-yard line to his wide receiver, number 24, Michael Harmon, the sophomore from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. It's a 1st down for Ole Miss as they mark it at the 31.5-yard line. Forcade now has only thrown 1 incompletion all afternoon, in addition to the fine job he's done running the option. 1st and 10 Ole Miss. Jansen goes nowhere as he is pounded by the LSU defense. Number 92, Tim Joyner, the sophomore, was first one to hit him, and then he got some help from a bunch of his friends in white shirts as Jansen gets up and almost walked the wrong way, trying to get back to the huddle. He wasn't sure where he was.
Steve, even though they didn't make anything, you got to hand the ball off on the inside play some, or else the outside option will never go. And so when you say, golly, they should have gone outside, well, that helps the outside play.
They lost a yard on the play, however, as it is now back inside the 31. 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Only 1 setback as they have double twin set wide receivers. No tight end in the ballgame as Forcade goes back. Good protection. Hits Harmon at the 47-yard line, and Harmon is tackled immediately, but it will be enough for another Ole Miss 1st down. Number 31, Tommy Boudreau, the sophomore free safety, was there to get Harmon.
Well, one thing about this is you got to give the Ole Miss line credit. They're really giving him time. When you give a man time like Forcade, they cross their wide receivers, and you'll always get open when you have that much time. And it's just a fine job by the Ole Miss offensive line.
They mark it at the 45-yard line. A gain of 15, and now Forcade calls timeout. Ole Miss taking their final timeout here in the first half with 1:36 remaining in the second quarter. Forcade wants to go over and talk it over with Steve Sloan and the coaching staff, as Ole Miss will have a 1st and 10 at their own 45.
I hate to see him use that last timeout. I think that it's important to have one timeout left that the quarterback never calls. I think that the coach should have the last timeout so that you can use it to get a field goal kicker in or get the last play into the ball game. But obviously there was some confusion there, and he called his last timeout, so now it's a little different situation.
Let's remind you that coming up at halftime, as part of our regular feature, Fireman's Fun Flashback, we'll be showing you game highlights of some of the top teams around the country, including number 6th ranked North Carolina against Oklahoma, 16th ranked today, and number 15 Missouri against number 8 Nebraska. And we'll also have highlights during our Fireman's Fun Flashback of the first half of our doubleheader today, that great encounter between South Carolina and Georgia. That's our Fireman's Fun Flashback at halftime this afternoon, as you look at some impressive statistics on the part of John Forcade throwing the football today. 1st and 10, Ole Miss at their own 45. Forcade completes it to Harmon once again. Almost knocked away at the last second by Chris Williams, but Harmon came up with a reception, and it is another 1st down inside LSU territory at the Tiger 37, a gain of 17 yards.
Here we are. Of course, they're playing what they call their nickel defense, which is 5 defensive backs. But it doesn't make any difference what you play when you throw the ball like that.
Another 1st and 10. Penalty markers now, as there apparently was some movement in the interior line. And the linebackers for LSU saw it and took the opportunity to jump offside to get the 5-yard assessment against Ole Miss, and that's what's happening. There you see Morris Harrison, the referee from Decatur, Georgia, indicating the illegal procedure infraction, moving the ball outside the 42-yard line of LSU, where it will now be 1st and 15. Forcade on the option again, pitches to Hooper and pitches it out of bounds. Forcade did not really look, just flipped it out to Kenny Hooper, and Kenny was not there. The loss is back outside the 45. They'll mark it at about the 46.5-yard line.
Sometimes when the cornerback's coming at you with a headgear for your chin, you have a tendency not to look where you pitch the ball.
It behooves you to look at him.
That's exactly right. So I think that's what happened that time.
The loss of 4 makes it now 2nd down and 19 from the LSU 46. Forcade sets up the screen to Jansen. Jansen run out of bounds on the far sideline at about the 42-yard line of LSU. 51 Al Richardson and 34 Lawrence Williams combining for the defensive play. 53 seconds now left in the first half as the clock stops on the out of bounds. LSU leads Ole Miss 17-10.
LSU has a tough defense in a situation like this. They're playing 5 defensive backs, and they do a good job disguising their coverages.
There's a Rebel fan looking on. Forcade 12 of 13 now for 98 yards as he wants to put it up again. Flips it on 3rd down to Kenny Hooper. Hooper running for the 1st down, has it inside the 25-yard line of LSU. At the 24, it'll be 1st and 10, and the clock continues to run. Mississippi hurrying to get set up after the gain of 17 and another 1st down. They stop the clock to set the chains, and now it's running again. 40 seconds remaining. Forcade takes it, throws it out of bounds. The chains weren't even set. The officials stop the clock now with 39 seconds left in the half.
This is where you need your timeouts. I mean, you need one left here, and I hope that it doesn't cost them a field goal in this situation.
They have the ball at the 24-yard line of LSU. The Tigers lead the Rebels 17-10. 39 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Forcade and company would dearly love to tie the score up before going into the locker room at halftime. On 2nd down and 10. Incomplete. Intended on the far sideline for Breck Tyler at the 20-yard line. It was thrown too low. Number 11, James Britt, was covering him on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10 at the LSU 24.
Steve, if I were a true expert, I would sit up here and say, so-and-so was open. He should have hit him. But I played that position, and you can't see 5 guys in the secondary, and you and I can see people open from up here, but it's impossible with a big lineman on your face to see everybody.
That, in fact, is the first time today that Forcade has thrown 2 consecutive interceptions, or rather incompletions. Buford McGee, number 10, is entered a running back as Forcade goes back on 3rd and 10. Eluding the pressure, Forcade will run it. Inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. He did not get out of bounds, and remember, they have no timeouts left. They'll mark it near the 16-yard line. 18 seconds now remaining. Alvin Thomas and Lyman White made the tackle as you see the clock running. Forcade going off as the field goal team comes on. Number 90, Todd Gatlin, is in. He kicked one earlier. This one from the 25, 24-yard line. No good. Hit the upright and bounced back. A 33-yard attempt by Gatlin is no good as time runs out on the clock. LSU turns them back to lead 17-10. Halfway through this exciting and most important game here in the Southeast Conference as you look at Gatlin's attempt once again.
Well, here's the kick. And, of course, when the clock is running, it's always a little more exciting. You feel a little more pressure. And the ball hits the goal post, and it's not good. And it's just too bad about that.
Quite an exciting ending to what I'm sure you will agree is an exciting first half of football. Stay with us for today's halftime activities. We'll be back after this message about an upcoming show on ABC, as well as a word from our local stations.
Sunday at 7, 6 Central on Those Amazing Animals. Meet a vulture who came to dinner. See a man who can call the great orca whale. And host Jim Stafford meets the elusive hummingbird.
They are amazing.
Then, a star is born and the screen explodes as 2 superstars collide. They had the best of both worlds.
Honey.
And the worst.
You can trash your life, but you're not going to trash mine.
Kris Kristofferson, Barbra Streisand, A Star is Born.
Ford's out front again with tough trucks to get the job done. And J.C. Johnson Ford Lincoln Mercury in Minden is your tough Ford truck headquarters. Come see the full Ford lineup of 1981 trucks. Get behind the wheel and see why Ford's out front. You'll discover a great new look both inside and out. The 1981 Ford pickups are built tough on the outside and are comfortable and good-looking on the inside. Get yourself over to J.C. Johnson Ford Lincoln Mercury in Minden and get behind the wheel of a built Ford tough 1981 pickup truck.
I used to think Jordan & Booth was an expensive place to shop for men's clothing, and that's not necessarily so. Oh, sure, Jordan & Booth does carry the finest lines in menswear, and they have the best selection of them to be found anywhere, but they also have an outstanding selection of moderately priced clothing. At Jordan & Booth, you can find something to please even the most finicky man at a price you can afford. So whether it's gift time or any time, the place to shop for men's clothing is Jordan & Booth. Now at 2 locations, 421 Texas and Mall St. Vincent.
Television 3, KTBS-TV, Shreveport.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and LSU's Tiger Stadium, where the Ole Miss Pride of the South Band is entertaining under the direction of Dr. Luther M. Snavely, Jr. And we are at halftime with LSU leading Ole Miss 17-10. And Pepper, it's been just the kind of football game we thought it might be.
Oh, it's been exciting. I'm really into the game now. It's 17-10 LSU, and of course Ole Miss has played some outstanding football to be this close to LSU, considering the fact that they've lost all those fumbles. But LSU, after the game was tied up, came back with a great drive after recovering a fumble, and Russia put the ball in the end zone on the option. And I can't tell you how many great plays that we've seen in this football game by such outstanding athletes.
It has been a great one, and be sure to stay with us for the second half. Obviously, it could turn out to be quite a football game and go right down to the wire. Also, there are some other exciting games being played today, as we mentioned earlier, with North Carolina against Oklahoma and Missouri going against Nebraska, and also the first game of our doubleheader, that great matchup with George Rogers and Herschel Walker as South Carolina win against Georgia. And that's the subject of our Fireman's Fund flashback here at halftime this afternoon. And as always, today's Fireman's Fund flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Now, for a look at those great games today, let's go to New York and Dave Dials.
Dave Dials in New York. The nation's #1 ranked collegiate football team, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, in a startling upset, beaten by Mississippi State. The score was 6-3. Field goals by Dana Moore did it. field goal of 37 yards, then one of 22. The nation's #1 team, which had won 28 in a row, might have won the game. But a fumble at the Mississippi State 4-yard line with 6 seconds to play was recovered by Mississippi State. Earlier in the day, South Carolina and Georgia. Georgia ranked #4. You're going to see some highlights of that game. Georgia in the red uniform, South Carolina in the white. It's 3-0 Georgia when Buck Bellew, the quarterback, gives the ball to Herschel Walker. That sensational freshman. He goes up the middle, breaks to the right sideline. 76 yards, a Georgia touchdown. The extra point made it 10-0. Now action in the third period coming up. Georgia with a lead of 13-3. South Carolina 1st and 10 at the Georgia 39, and Gary Harper #10. Hands off to number 39, Carl West, and he goes 39 yards for a touchdown. The extra point made it 13-10, and that's the way it wound up. Georgia 13 and South Carolina 10. North Carolina ranked #6, took that ranking to Norman, Oklahoma today. It has not impressed Barry Switzer and his Sooners at all. We're going to pick up the action here. We have 8 minutes and 13 seconds to play in that game, and North Carolina is losing badly. Let's pick up the action here with Oklahoma's quarterback J.C. Watts in the first period, #1. Pitching to David Overstreet, #22, left sidelines, 24 yards, a Sooner touchdown. The extra point makes it 7-0. Still in the first period, North Carolina comes back with Rod Elkins, #10, handing to famous Amos Lawrence. He goes over from the 1. The extra point makes it 7-all. Oklahoma's quarterback J.C. Watts on this play, #1. It's the Oklahoma option, and J.C. keeps it. Goes 42 yards, a Sooner touchdown. Still in the first period, the extra point good. The Sooners lead by a score of 14-7. Now in the third period, Oklahoma out in front 14-7. J.C. Watts again, and he keeps it again. He goes the left side, touchdown. The extra point is good. 7 yards out on the run, 21-7. J.C. Watts goes in for another touchdown from the 1 that made it 28-7, and then David Overstreet. He goes over. 28 yards, 34-7 over North Carolina. That was with 12 minutes to play, and now it's 41-7 because Oklahoma has scored again. Missouri and Nebraska playing this afternoon out in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska ranked #7 in the nation. Again, we have bonus coverage of that game. And it's tough to win at Lincoln, as Missouri is finding out. Quarterback Jeff Quinn of the Cornhuskers in red, #11. Pitches to Jarvis Redwine. He's been hobbled lately. Not this time. He goes to the left side, 15 yards, touchdown. Nebraska leads 7-0. Now, still in the first period, Nebraska 2nd and 9 at the Missouri 18. This time, Redwine to the right, 18 yards, touchdown, 14-0. In the second period, Nebraska 3rd and 9 at the Missouri 17. Jeff Quinn, #11, he passes to tight end Jeff Finn, #87. He breaks 2 tackles, goes in for a touchdown, the extra point good, and Nebraska out in front at that point, 21-6. Quarterback Phil Bradley, #15 for the Tigers. He's hit as he throws, and linebacker Kim Baker, #41, intercepts. He goes 77 yards. That's all. Touchdown for Nebraska. The extra point good. Nebraska leads 28-6. With a score 28-6, Missouri quarterback Phil Bradley, #15, he rolls to the right, and he'll hit flanker Ron Fellows, #8, end zone. Missouri touchdown, the extra point good, 28-13, and that's the last we had, 28-16 with about 14 minutes to play in that. We'll have more halftime activities coming right up. First, this message.
You know, choosing the right insurance, especially something as complicated as business insurance, is a job that can really get you down. So Fireman's Fund, as one of America's largest insurance companies, suggests how to find someone who can really give you a lift. Just look for someone who represents several companies, who's free to single out the one company with a policy that's exactly right, that gives you the most for your insurance dollar. It may be Fireman's Fund, it may be someone else, but it will be the company that's right for you. In short, look for someone with this sign, your independent agent, who serves you first. Remember, your independent agent, because when you're hunting for great protection, you'll never find anyone better to get things off the ground. In the Yellow Pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies, subsidiaries of American Express.
Steve Zabriskie, along with Pepper Rogers, welcoming you back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as the Ole Miss Band performs at halftime and plays their traditional Dixie. Pride of the South, 260 members strong, including the Ole Miss Rebelettes, the Rebel Lancer Flag Corps, all under the direction of Dr. Luther M. Snavely, Jr., as they now leave the field playing Dixie, the fight song for Ole Miss, as they just finished a beautiful melody from the American trilogy, From Dixie with Love. The Ole Miss Band leaves the campus here in Baton Rouge. Let's travel up to Oxford, Mississippi, and take a time out to look at the Ole Miss campus.
Since its founding in 1848, the University of Mississippi has established a worldwide reputation for excellence in teaching, research, and service. Today, Ole Miss is exploring new frontiers in satellite communications, studying killer storms to improve early detection, searching for clues in the fight against cancer, studying the region's abundant coal reserves to help find answers to our energy problems, developing treatment that could banish poison ivy reactions, helping students with comprehensive career counseling, starting an innovative school of accountancy to serve the rapidly growing business community, preserving the uniqueness of the Old South while preparing its students to serve the nation. Ole Miss is expanding its frontiers of knowledge and reaching beyond its campuses to serve society's needs, for we are the University of Mississippi.
Now it's time for the LSU Tiger Marching Band to entertain the hometown crowd under the direction of Frank Wicks. Terry Toulos is the drum major. And the Tiger Marching Band will begin with Malagueña. Tiger Marching Band continues to perform. Let's take a time out here in beautiful capital city of Baton Rouge and take a look at the campus of LSU.
Louisiana State University will host the 1983 International Summer Special Olympic Games with the theme of Something Special for Someone Special. LSU was selected in part because of its outstanding athletic facilities. Tiger Stadium, the site of today's game. Bernie Moore Track Stadium, the Field House, the Assembly Center, and a variety of arenas that lend themselves to many purposes. LSU, a university often cited for its learning environment, and a place where special things are ongoing realities in research and public service. So, whether it's the freshman class of 1980 or the special athletes of 1983, to many, LSU is something special.
There's our score at halftime with LSU leading Ole Miss 17-10. And turnovers have led to almost all of those 27 points this afternoon as the LSU Tiger Marching Band continues to perform Malagueña here at halftime. As a special halftime feature, let's go to New York for ABC News Halftime Report. Now here's Glenn Schur in New York.
From ABC News election headquarters in New York, this is the halftime report with Lynn Scher.
Good afternoon. With only 3 days to go before the election and with both candidates and ABC News making final preparations for that event, the hostages are still not out of Iran. But although Tehran Radio broadcast an invitation for a massive march past the U.S. Embassy on Tuesday to mark 1 full year of their seizure, Pierre Salinger reports that a decision might come before then.
We have reached this point scores of times in the past year and always been disappointed. But all signs in Tehran tonight point to the fact that the Iranian parliament will make a decision tomorrow on the fate of the American hostages. Here are the indications. First, the Ayatollah Montazeri, considered by most as the eventual successor of the Ayatollah Khomeini, said that any boycott of the Iranian parliament tomorrow would be unacceptable. Second, the official newspaper of the dominant Islamic Republican Party said now is the time for Iran to seize the historic moment of the American elections to make a deal with the American government. Third, the ambassadors of Algeria, Syria, and Libya have been summoned to the Iranian Foreign Office Monday morning to be given a report on the hostages. Those are the indications. Tomorrow we will know the realities. Pierre Salinger, ABC News, Paris.
This is Barry Dunsmore. At a pre-election news conference here at the State Department, Secretary Muskie today strongly denied any suggestion that a secret deal has been made for the release of the hostages. Muskie repeated that the U.S. is still waiting for the Iranian parliament to set its conditions, which U.S. officials now hope will finally be made public tomorrow. Even then, Muskie seemed to think the conditions may very likely have to be negotiated before the hostages get out. He also scoffed at the idea that the timing was tied to presidential politics.
If that is really the president's objective, his timing isn't very good. Anybody with an ounce of political brains or instincts wouldn't wait until the Sunday before the Tuesday of election.
It would appear then that the administration has concluded that a hostage release before Tuesday is not likely and might also hurt more than help Mr. Carter. The reasoning is that the voters might suspect the president made last-minute concessions for his own political benefit. Barry Dunsmore, ABC News, the State Department.
Secretary Muskie will be interviewed tomorrow on ABC's Issues and Answers at noon Eastern Time, and that will be preceded at 11:30 by a special edition of Issues and Answers with Iranian Foreign Minister Gopsadeh. As for the main event in this country, the still unanswerable question of who will occupy the Oval Office next January remains in the hands of a few key states with big electoral votes. Both candidates visited them today. First, Sam Donaldson with the president.
The president's chances in Texas, where the polls show him behind, rest on getting out a big Mexican-American Democratic vote. So this morning in Brownsville, heart of the Rio Grande Valley's Hispanic population, Mr. Carter talked of the things he's done for Spanish-speaking Americans. The crowd was responsive, and the president seemed up, even when a reporter told him that at least one major poll coming out this weekend will show Governor Reagan ahead nationally.
Oh, really? That discourage you? I don't think I'll quit.
Next stop, San Antonio and the Alamo, where the president continued his effort to persuade Democrats that this is an election that matters and one in which every vote is needed.
Think about the consequences in your own life. If Wednesday morning you wake up and you face the prospect of a Republican being in the Oval Office for the next 4 years.
The president continues to campaign like a man who thinks he will win, but he knows he's doing so against the background of high uncertainty. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, San Antonio.
This is Barry Serafin. Ronald Reagan campaigned in Michigan with the help of a native son. At a rally in Grand Rapids, former President Ford ripped into President Carter, accusing him of, quote, screwing up the economy.
That's what your dollar is worth under Jimmy Carter.
Reagan charged President Carter with tearing down economic and foreign policy gains made by the Ford administration.
All Jimmy Carter had to do was look at what we had and continue it, and he wasn't intelligent enough to do it.
Later in Battle Creek, Mr. Ford bluntly dismissed the idea of a second Carter term.
Jimmy Carter is a four-year phenomena. He won't be around.
Battle Creek calls itself the cereal city, and for Reagan, in a close race in this crucial state, any friendly face is welcome, including Tony the Tiger. Barry Seraphin, ABC News, Battle Creek, Michigan.
We'll have all the details on the election Tuesday night right here from our ABC News election headquarters. I'm Lynn Scherr in New York. Good afternoon.
The halftime report is a presentation of ABC News.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as the LSU Tiger Marching Band continues to perform. LSU leading Ole Miss 17-10 at halftime. The Golden Girls and the Tigerettes in addition to the LSU Flag Corps and the Can-Can being performed. The Tiger Marching Band performing halftime before their hometown crowd. And we remind you that the Ole Miss LSU game is being brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Westinghouse and the 140,000 Westinghouse employees worldwide. And by Poland. Across America, people who know chainsaws are buying the one they can't pronounce. Poland, the green chainsaw with the name worth remembering. Both teams are back on the field as halftime entertainment has drawn to a close, and football entertainment will resume in just a few minutes when we come back to Baton Rouge.
I may be the only man running a major brewery who is a master brewer. Have been for 40 years. I'm Frank Sellinger, Chief Executive Officer of Schlitz. 2 years ago, when they asked me to come to Schlitz, they said, Frank, let's make the best. Here it is, Schlitz. Compare Schlitz with any other beer. This has the taste that I've been after for 40 years. I know you'll like it.
General Motors introduces Computer Command Control, a new system that uses this onboard computer to help GM achieve the highest corporate average fuel economy in its history, while reducing exhaust emissions to the lowest in GM history. From now on, you'll activate this computer when you step on the gas. And it's an all-standard and most optional gasoline engine from Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac. The computer monitors oxygen in the exhaust, engine speed, and coolant temperature, adjusting the air-fuel mixture to control combustion so that the catalytic converter can minimize emissions. Result, we're helping to clean the air while giving good fuel economy. Computer Command Control, designed and engineered for a changing world.
I'm John Majors, head football coach at the University of Tennessee and a trustee of the American Football Coaches Association. As members of this organization, all coaches strive to maintain high ethical recruiting standards. We want to improve the process through which the high school athlete selects a college. College football coaches spend many hours recruiting student athletes. They are concerned that each athlete and their parents are fully informed as to what is permissible in recruiting and what type of financial aid can be offered and accepted. The NCAA has published a free booklet, The College-Bound Student Athlete. It covers the general rules and regulations governing recruiting, eligibility, and financial aid. Athletes and parents should study this booklet, accept only what is permissible. For a copy of this booklet, write Recruiting, NCAA, Box 1906, Shawnee Mission, Kansas, 66222.
The NCAA, 75 years of service.
Freshman Joe Campanova, number 94, kicks it off for Ole Miss, and is taken at about the 8-yard line by number 25, Gene Lang, and Lang breaks the tackle and gets out across the 25. Good return by Gene Lang. Number 59, Philip Wiley, the junior linebacker for Ole Miss, made the tackle. A return of 19 yards by Gene Lang as they mark it at the 26-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 LSU. The Tigers lead the Rebels 17-10 as we begin the third quarter. LSU had the option and elected to receive the football here to start the second half. George Atia, incidentally, number 60 for LSU, has a knee injury, we are told, and may not return. Risher running the option, trying to cut it inside, cannot. Picks up about a yard to the 27 is all. Good defense by LSU, or rather Ole Miss. James Evers, number 65, one of the players there, as we look at the first half statistics. And as you see, a big edge in total yards to Ole Miss, but LSU with the lead in the football game, and Ole Miss had the football even longer. We're just underway in the third quarter. It is 2nd down and 8 yards to go for LSU from their own 27. Oki Gajan. Gajan gets short yardage as the Ole Miss Rebel defense is playing tough. Number 50, Lee Cole, his freshman linebacker from Laurel, Mississippi, made the defensive hit. A gain of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half is all. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for the Tigers.
This is a big play for Ole Miss here if they can stop LSU in the first drive and get the football with a little field position. It'll give them a little confidence going in the second half.
Big play on 3rd down and 7. Risher to pass. Down the middle. Almost intercepted. Intended for Malcolm Scott, the tight end, but number 26, Johnny Burrow, the sophomore free safety from Amory, Mississippi, almost picked it off. It'll be 4th and 7. LSU will have to punt as we look at it once again.
Well, here's Risher again. He's really agile, got great feet, gets good pass rush here. He gets away from the rush, throws the ball down the middle. Pass should have been intercepted. The free safety's coming over, should have had the football.
David Johnston, who hit one 37 yards the last time, kicks it. Michael Harmon is back for Ole Miss. And Harmon has it at about the 21 and jukes his way around to the 25-yard line, and that's about it. Good punt coverage on a pretty good kick by LSU on the person of David Johnston. 13:23 remaining in the third quarter. We'll be back.
John Burns joined the Army in March and kept us waiting until October. Kathy Wolf joined the Army in May and kept us waiting all summer. If you're a high school graduate or about to be, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty. That way, if you qualify, we can guarantee you the skill training that makes you happiest. And we think a happy soldier is worth waiting for. This is the Army, a chance to serve your country as you serve yourself. Call this number toll-free.
Goodyear Technology brings you an all-season steel-belted radial for the 80s. Today, you need a tire that gives you fuel economy and all-season performance, wet, dry traction, and long tread life, hydroplaning resistance, and dry road stability. Arriva. Even its footprint tells you it's different. Only from Goodyear. Goodyear. Quality and innovation.
More than 50,000 young people annually participate in the National Youth Sports Program, sponsored by the NCAA and the Community Services Administration, offering the benefits of sports training, instruction, and competition to disadvantaged young people.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't wait for us. Ole Miss on offense has run 2 plays. Kenny Hooper carried for about 1 yard, and then Forcade threw a screen pass to Hooper for a gain of 8. As they move it out to the 34-yard line, it is 3rd down and 1 yard to go as Johnny Armstrong is in at running back. Forcade gives the ball off, and apparently they picked up enough yardage for the first down. Number 23, Danny Jansen, the ball carrier, as he gained far more than the yardage needed. Out to the 40-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10, Ole Miss.
Well, you didn't even know he had the ball that time. He went by him so fast, and it was a great fake by Forcade. He carried the fake on out, and actually, if he'd have kept his feet, he could have made a long run out of there.
Johnny Armstrong, a freshman from Bruce, Mississippi, is in at running back along with Jensen. 1st and 10, Ole Miss at their own 40. Forcade has it batted in the air and incomplete. Lyman White, number 94, was in there, got his hands up, and tipped the ball. It fell incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Intended for Ken Toller, number 30, their fine wide receiver. 11:43 remaining in the third quarter. It is 17-10, LSU over Ole Miss, in what has been a very exciting football game. We've had a lot of turnovers, but the teams have been able to convert those turnovers into points. Now Kenny Hooper, number 38, is in. at tailback, along with Jensen at the fullback position. Forcade eluding the pressure. Now dumps it off, and there's nobody anywhere around. A flag is down, back around the point where Forcade was hit. Jerry Stovall, the LSU coach, on the sideline. And it appears as if we will have an intentional grounding call against Forcade.
I don't think there's any question that he threw the football away. There was no one close to the point where he threw the football, and it's a fine call. But you got a little pressure, and when he tried to skirt the outside man, he forced him deep. He had nowhere to go.
The illegal forward pass moves it back to the 19-yard line. It is now third down and 31 yards to go. Remember, a loss of down accompanies an illegal forward pass. Forcade on the option on 3rd and 31. Cuts it inside and goes nowhere at the 20-yard line. He is nailed for a gain of about 1 yard is all. 51, Al Richardson making the defensive hit for LSU.
Al Richardson is the leading tackler on this football team. The best thing that Forcade did here is he didn't fumble the ball. He kept the football, didn't pitch it under pressure. He really got hit by Al Richardson and saved the ball.
Darrell Graham, number 13, is in to punt for Ole Miss. A line drive off the bare foot. Picked up at about the 41-yard line by Chris Williams, number 22, and Williams gets it out to about the 44. Well, LSU will have good field position with 10:58 remaining in the third quarter when we return.
If you're ready to move up to a middleweight, Poland just built your saw.
It's a what? It's a pull-in 3400.
With a powerful, easy-starting engine, solid-state ignition, an incredible anti-vibration system, and more.
A Poland 3400, huh?
You mean a Palan 3400?
So, for a middleweight that'll do more jobs more smoothly, go to your Poland dealer and say...
I'd like to see the the 3400, please.
See Poland in the yellow pages under saws.
Falcon Parcel Service in Mountain View, California, runs their Chevy Chevette fleet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they know Chevette's durable enough to stay in service. To be in any business today, you've got to cover a lot of territory. And that's one of the reasons you'll see Chevy Chevette working all over the country. And starring in the Joey Chick with Thrill show, the 1981 Chevy Chevette. One tough son of a gun.
Next Saturday, an exciting NCAA doubleheader starting at 12 Eastern. Check local listings for the games in your area. Live on ABC.
There is sophomore running back Kenny Hooper from Cleveland, Tennessee, who you see being attended to, was injured on that punt play. He was in there to block for the punter, Darrell Graham, and he is in some pain. He did leave the field under his own power, however. 1st and 10 LSU at their own 44. Eric Ellington and Jude Hernandez in the backfield behind Alan Risher, following the punt of 43 yards and the return of 7 yards by Chris Williams. Ellington trying to get outside. He cannot. Number 84, James Otis from Biloxi, Mississippi. Their big sophomore defensive end nails him just as he crosses the line of scrimmage. They'll give him a gain of 1 to the 45. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
All right, this is quick meeting quick here. Ellington is quick, but he meets a bigger, quicker man here. And James Otis is playing some football game for Ole Miss.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. LSU at their own 45. They lead 17 to 10. Jude Hernandez. Now it's Ellington again, the ball carrier. And Ellington this time loses a yard back to the original line of scrimmage. The Ole Miss Rebel defense really playing inspired football. 99, Andy Shaw, a sophomore nose guard from Water Valley, Mississippi, made the initial hit on Ellington, whom you see coming out of the game.
This Ole Miss defense is not as bad as we were led to believe by their statistics. They are playing much better today.
Number 30, Mike Montz, is in at a running back along with Jude Hernandez on 3rd down and 10. Risher to pass. Completes it to Malcolm Scott, his tight end, and Scott has a first down at the 45-yard line of Ole Miss. Run out of bounds on the far sideline by Wally Knox, the sophomore strong safety. It's a gain of 11 yards to the 45-yard line of Ole Miss.
It's a crossing pattern, and the best pass that you can throw against a man coverage like Ole Miss was playing at that time is a crossing pattern by the tight end, and he put the ball right on the money.
LSU moving back into Rebel territory with 9:48 remaining in the third quarter. That's 3 of 6 now for LSU on third down conversions. Risher on the option, gives it back to Montz. Montz with good blocking on the corner and a good defensive play by Ole Miss. As number 32, Joel Stewart, the cornerback, cut Mont's feet out from under him just as it looked as if Mont might be going for another 10 yards. Montz now has carried 7 times for 51 yards.
They're doing a fine job on the speed option, and Montz almost went all the way on that. It was a great defensive play.
Joel Stewart making it. Gain of 5, second down and 5 from the 40. Jude Hernandez fumbles the football. Ole Miss is recovered. No, they say it's down. They say that Jude Hernandez was down at the 34-yard line of Ole Miss. Joel Stewart again made the hit. Ole Miss thought they had a fumble recovery, but the officials ruled Hernandez to be down at the 34.
I don't believe that. I'm going to look this again, Steve, but I'll tell you something. He got that ball knocked out.
He was really hit by Joel Stewart, number 32.
See, I'm not questioning the officials, what he did. It's just his judgment. I really think that was a fair hit and a fumble.
Number 47, Hokie Gajan in at running back. Risher under pressure. Tries to get away. He cannot. Again, number 32, Joel Stewart, in there to make the tackle as he was blitzing, along with number 99, Andy Shaw, the nose guard, and 46, defensive end Bentley Burgess, all putting the pressure on Risher and dropping him for a loss of about 3. It'll be second down and 13 as they mark it at the 37 of Ole Miss.
I've seen this help a team, though, that when they get a call like that, they get angry, and then they play better.
They are playing very well. 8:22 remaining in the third quarter. Second down, 13 yards to go. Risher optioning to the right, cutting it upfield, fumbled in football. It appears as if Ole Miss has recovered. Now LSU signals they have the football, and LSU does have the football. Lee Cole, number 50, knocked it out, but Mike Gambrell, number 56, the freshman center from Slidell, appeared to come up with the football.
Well, that's unbelievable, because it looked like to me that the Ole Miss defensive back was a little tentative here on recovering the fumble. Here's a great hit, and right here it looks like he just was a little tentative and going for the ball and couldn't quite get to it, and the LSU man made a great play to get that football.
A gain of 15 yards altogether, including the fumble recovery. Hokie Gajan trying to break a tackle at the line of scrimmage, cannot. Number 59, Philip Wiley, wraps him up. As you look at Steve Sloan, the Mississippi coach in his third year, Gajan now has carried 8 times and only picked up 2 yards.
I love the way Steve looks. He looks like he's totally not excited, but his gut's going.
He's intense.
Yes, he is.
He knows Alabama lost to Southern Mississippi 6-3 today, and he's going for an upset himself here this afternoon. Mississippi State 6-3. Pass on second down and 11. Running it very near first down yardage, near the 11-yard line. He appears to have enough for another first down for LSU. Philip Wiley, 59, and 21, Melvin Brown make the tackle, but Alan Risher did it all on his own.
Quick feet.
Gain of 12 yards for the Tigers of LSU.
Okay, now we all know what I'm talking about. Quick feet. He has got some feet. He takes that ball off. They're playing man coverage underneath. Watch his feet. All right, he went by him. Great play.
At the 11-yard line, first and 10. LSU leads 17-10. Gajan straight at the middle, over a tackler inside the 5. And he took the umpire with him. Lee Cole, number 50, the fine freshman linebacker for Mississippi, made the tackle, but Gajan ripped off a good gain to the 3-yard line.
Here it is, just a straight power handoff, and this depends so much on 2 things: the line charge by the LSU line and the ability of the back to read the play and break the daylight, and he did.
Second down, 2 yards to go from the 3. Gajan again tries to go over the top. He cannot. James Otis, number 84, and Keith Forcade, number 58, combined to make the tackle, along with 66, Brian Kennedy.
Steve, it's a little dangerous down the goal line, spinning around and losing the ball carrier with a reverse pivot. Reverse pivot meaning that you spin out away from the ball carrier and you don't see him until right at the last second. that sometimes can create some problems for you handling the football, but LSU does a fine job of coaching that, and they haven't had any problems with it.
Orlando McDaniel, number 32, brings the play in from the sideline at wide receiver on 3rd down and 1. From the 2-yard line, Risher firing it in the end zone. Gaijan, touchdown. Hokie Gaijan receiving the pass in the flat from Alan Risher for an LSU touchdown.
That is a rollout behind 2 blockers and the lead blocker. Instead of blocking on the end like he normally does, he would, well, we'll see here, Gaijan just slips him out in the flat instead of blocking. It puts 3 receivers on one side, and they just have a very difficult time covering that. Fine throw under pressure by Richard.
David Johnston is in to attempt the extra point. Robbie Mahfouz will be the holder as usual. And it's good. 5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter at Tiger Stadium in LSU, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Tigers have jumped out in front now, 24-10.
It's knowing you depend on us. We're gonna solve your problems, yeah, we understand. It's knowing Avis tries so hard, we'll always be right there to lend a helping hand.
Yeah, Avis takes the worry out of renting cars, no matter where the road may wind. At Avis you're leaving your worries behind. Alcoa can't wait.
It's simple. A lighter car will use less gasoline. That's why designers and stylists in Detroit are using and considering more aluminum than ever before for hoods, doors, wheels, and over 24 other applications. Detroit is as interested in saving energy as you are. And strong, lightweight aluminum is part of the picture.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
LSU getting set to kick off. Number 1, Don Barthel, the senior from Rayville, going to tie up that toe. And back deep to receive for the Ole Miss Rebels. 24 is Mike Harmon on the near side. 25, James Harbor at the top of the screen. A 56-yard drive and a couple of fumbles, Pepper, that might have been recovered by Mississippi.
Well, it really took it out of it. When you have 2 fumbles you could have gotten and you lose them, it really hurts.
Harbor takes it at the 4-yard line. And he's drilled at the 20-yard line. Down there, number 99, Rydell Melanson. A freshman linebacker, 6'2" and 195-pounder, put the hit on Mr. Harbor at the 20. It'll be 1st and 10, Ole Miss. A return of 17 yards.
LSU has made some hits on the kickoff. I'm glad I'm not returning kickoffs for Ole Miss. I mean, it's rough out there.
Keith Fourcade leads them out. Remember, Alabama lost today 6-3 to Mississippi State. LSU trying to remain unbeaten in the Southeast Conference. Johnny Armstrong, number 4, in running back, along with Kenny Hooper. It's Hooper who has the ball. And Hooper drags a couple of people with him for a gain of about 5 yards out to the 25. Lawrence Williams, number 34, and 92, Tim Joyner, getting some help to bring Hooper down after a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
The thing I like about that play, Steve, is that you don't know he's got the ball, and he just, all of a sudden, there's a big wad of bodies, and he'll come out of there, and all of a sudden, there he is with the football.
Hooper now has carried 14 times for 61 yards. Danny Jansen now is into the game at running back, along with Armstrong. Jansen has it. Jansen on the inside play gets about 3. A penalty marker is down, however, as Jansen gets it out to the 28-yard line. Again, Lawrence Williams, number 34, the sophomore linebacker from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Leonard Marshall, 97, on the stop. Both the line judge and head linesman threw the flags, and so we'll wait for referee Morris Harrison of Decatur, Georgia, to give us the indication.
Yeah, well, you never know who it's on in this situation except by looking at the teams.
There's Jerry Stovall.
The teams will tell you whose penalty it's against. They'll start signaling, so they know more about it than the referee.
Now, as you see the teams walking back, it appears to be against Ole Miss as they mark off 5, and it is motion, illegal motion against the Rebels. 4:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And now it'll be 2nd down and 10 as the ball is moved back to the original line of scrimmage. That's the 5th penalty on Ole Miss for 51 yards. Fourcade to throw on 2nd and 10. Completes it on the far side to Harmon. And Harmon will have about 9 yards on the play. No, they'll make it 8 as they mark it at the 28-yard line. James Britt, number 11, was covering.
Well, in this pass that they're throwing, the defense that LSU is playing, they don't have anybody underneath, in other words, in front of that receiver. And they can hit that pass every time as long as they're in that coverage. They can't cover it if you can hit the receiver.
That's Harmon's 7th catch for 72 yards. Kenny Hooper, number 38, is back in at running back. 3rd down, about 2 yards to go for Ole Miss. They're at their own 28. Forcade has it picked off. It's intercepted on the far sideline. Tommy Boudreaux. Or Ricky Chapman, it appeared to be, number 37. Ricky Chapman intercepting Forcade's pass.
Steve, in this particular case here, this is one of the problems. Yeah, this is one of the problems that he has. He didn't get set. Now, you watch him. He is falling back throwing the football. And there's really no reason to do that. He had no pressure. And you just must get set throwing the football if you're going to have to make the right throw.
Ricky Chapman, a freshman from Winfield, Louisiana. There you see him intercepting and returning at 14 yards to the 25 of Ole Miss. And again, turnovers have thwarted the Ole Miss offense. Gaijon gets 2. Maybe 1.5 is all, as again, the Rebel defense in the person of Matthew Lovelady, number 95, the nose guard, makes the play. Defense for Ole Miss has been tough against the run almost consistently this afternoon. As an example of that, Gaijon has carried 11 times and gained only 12 yards. That time he gained 1 to the 24. It's 2nd and 9. Mike Muntz, number 30, is in at running back along with Gaijon as Risher looks to throw. Completes it. Greg LaFleur, the tight end, has it inside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it inside the 14-yard line. It appears to be enough for a first down for LSU. 21, Melvin Brown, was covering him on the play.
Oh, here we go. See, we roll to the weak side, and the tight end drags across, and the basic coverage that Ole Miss is playing, there's nobody in the weak side flat when the two backs go away, so that pass must be open if you can hit it. And LSU has outstanding tight ends.
As we mentioned earlier, both Malcolm Scott and Greg LaFleur alternating. Gain 10 on that time to the completion to LaFleur. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Risher avoids being tripped up, cuts to the inside. Alan Risher scores.
Steve, that's a big league play right there. He took that football, faked the handoff, and went down the line and broke to the outside and used his speed to put the ball in the end zone.
And again, the points come on turnovers following the interception. Let's look at the touchdown run one more time.
Here we are. They pull the offside guard. He fakes the handoff, gets a fine block from the guard, cuts inside, then uses speed to run for the corner. Touchdown.
Number 5, David Johnston, is on to attempt another extra point. And it's good. Following the interception by Ricky Chapman, the freshman from Winfield, who returned at 14 yards to the 25, LSU capitalizes once again and takes it in to now lead 31-10 with 2:33 remaining in the third quarter. Here's our score, and LSU has really broken the game open here in the third quarter.
There have been so many turnovers by the Ole Miss team. It's kind of unbelievable that they would have that many.
And it's really hurt them because LSU's been able to turn those turnovers into points.
Particularly when you consider the number of yards that the Ole Miss offense has made, and I don't think the Ole Miss defense has really played that badly.
No, they haven't. They have played very well. But they've given LSU the football deep in their own territory, which has really caused them the problem. LSU only had to drive 25 yards that time, 56 yards, 40 yards, 38 yards, and 14 yards for their score. So they've all been, except one, and that was near midfield on the Mississippi side of the 50-yard line. Harmon and Harbor again back deep to receive, and again Barthel ties up the toe and gets set to kick off.
Steve, I believe the man for LSU who's giving the signals is offside on the kickoff.
It looks like he is. Barthel hits it. Harmon takes it 2 yards deep. He'll bring it out. Harmon with a nice move, bouncing off of tacklers and blockers as well, gets it to the 28-yard line. Linford Hobley, number 29, the freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana, makes the tackle. A return of 28 yards by number 24, Michael Harmon. It'll be 1st and 10. Ole Miss has the football once again, and they need to keep it and get some points on the board as you look at Jerry Stovall in his first year as the head coach of LSU. Lyman White appears to be injured for the LSU defense, number 94. Kenny Hooper and Danny Jensen in the backfield behind Forcade. Hooper, or Jensen it is, who takes the handoff, and Forcade almost didn't even get the ball to him. The LSU defense was in there. Leonard Marshall, number 97, sophomore defensive tackle, and Ricky Chapman, who made the interception, was also in there. That's what you call forcing the play, Pepper.
I have to be honest with you, I was not watching the football game. I saw a cheerleader, two guys grab a cheerleader and start running with her, and a guy from the other cheerleading side knocked her out with a block tougher than anything I've seen on the field.
Good heavens. Things are getting rowdy in Death Valley. Forcade has the ball tipped, and it goes incomplete too high. Intended for Ken Toller. It appeared to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. James Britt was defending Toller on the play. The incompletion will bring up 3rd down and 10. The ball still at the 28.5-yard line of Ole Miss.
Well, Ole Miss is having their problems now. LSU is a very good defensive football team. They're playing 5 defensive backs. They're putting a lot of pressure on their 4-man rush, and it's going to be tough unless Ole Miss can make a sustained drive.
On 3rd down and 10, Forcade to throw once again. Long down the far sideline for Toller, incomplete. At the LSU 25, Ken Toller had a step on James Britt and Chris Williams, but the pass was overthrown. It'll be 4th and 10. Mississippi will have to punt.
I looked at the yardage on that throw, and I looked at this throw. He got out of the pocket as quick as he'd be, and this throw went about 65 yards in the air. I mean, he cut it loose. Great try by Ken Toller.
Number 13, Darryl Graham, is in to punt. Chris Williams takes it at the 33. Finds a hole and gets out to about the 45-yard line. Williams with a pretty decent return. LSU will have good field position once again after the punt of 39 yards by Graham. Lee Cole, the freshman linebacker, number 50, made the tackle. There you see the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. 1:31, with LSU leading 31-10. Robbie Mahfouz, number 15, is in at quarterback now for LSU, replacing Alan Risher. Jude Hernandez and Eric Ellington are in the backfield behind him. Mahfouz seeing his first action. 1st and 10, LSU at their own 45. On the option. And Mahfouz cannot get the pitch away. He wanted to pitch to the trailing back Hernandez, but good defense by number 92, Kenneth Dotson, sophomore defensive tackle from Nunnally, Tennessee, and a loss back to the 41-yard line. A reminder that tomorrow we'll have a special edition, ABC News Issues and Answers, bringing you the latest developments on the situation in Iran. Then tomorrow, that special edition of Issues and Answers will be followed with an interview, not only with Foreign Minister Sadov Gutspade, but also an interview with Secretary of State Edmund Muskie at 12 noon. Eric Ellington fumbles the football. And it appears as if Ole Miss has recovered. Yes, they have. At the 45-yard line, Ellington coughed it up, and Ole Miss gets it back.
Finally, they get one of those fumbles at, oh, here we go. Now watch this. The ball goes straight up in the air. He makes a fine run. He's quick as a cat. Gets hit. The ball goes up in the air. And now we see an Ole Miss man coming in there, recovers the football. Ole Miss finally gets one of those fumbles that's been hit in the ground.
Nikita Williams, number 42, caused the fumble with the hit. And Ole Miss gets a break. 1st and 10 at the LSU 45. Forcade wants to put it up. Gets it off under pressure. Incomplete, overthrown once again, intended for Brett Tyler, number 87, running the post pattern. Alvin Thomas, number 33, and Chris Williams were back there with him. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the Tiger 45. And there's the man who recovered the fumble for the Mississippi Rebels, number 72, Woody Grigg, the sophomore defensive tackle from Winfield, Louisiana.
You know, excuse me, Pepper. Well, going for the post is a big play, but they still have to be patient. There's a lot of time left in this ball game.
We are nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Forcade running the option again, pitches to Kenny Hooper. Hooper's necktied by Chris Williams, number 22, at the 42.5-yard line of LSU. A short gain as they mark it near the 42. We'll call it a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
All right, the old option coming down the line of scrimmage. Now watch this, makes a pitch on the cornerback. Now this is a safety man supporting, and he makes a necktie tackle right here, and it's just like a rodeo. He goes down and makes only a couple of yards on a pretty good-looking football play.
Chris Williams, fine defensive back for LSU. 3rd down and 7. Fourcade with lots of time, throwing deep. Intercepted in the end zone by Chris Williams, number 22. Intended for Brett Tyler. Chris Williams went up in the corner of the end zone and took it away.
Obviously, the penalty against...
there is a penalty marker, right.
Against Ole Miss.
In fact, there are 3 of them down, but it will be declined. It is against Ole Miss.
Here's Fourcade back to throw the football again. He looks to the middle, and then he goes long, and Chris Williams makes a great defensive play. He's playing like a center fielder in baseball, finds the football, goes up in the end zone, and this must be about the 6th turnover for Ole Miss.
Robbie Mahfouz, number 15, in at quarterback once again for the Tigers of LSU, as we are 3 seconds away from the end of the 3rd quarter. This should be the final play of the quarter. Mike Montz and Hokie Gaijan, who has the football in the backfield. Gaijan out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 as number 95, Matthew Lovelady, wrapped him up as you look at Chris Williams, who intercepted that pass. And we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter. LSU leading Mississippi here in Baton Rouge 31-10. NCAA college football, Ole Miss at LSU will continue after this message, as well as a word from our local stations.
Driving half a car. To prove Haviland Supreme gives cars engine protection up front. I know, but... Well, you should know. It delivered proven protection in punishing state trooper testing. Yeah, but... Where's the rest of my car? Yeah. Here it comes. To prove Texaco's Haviland Supreme delivered improved mileage, too. Upfront protection backed by improved mileage. That's Haviland Supreme. Do me a favor. I know. Prove how good Haviland is in the next county, huh?
You know, I love the fresh, clean smell of barley because I can almost taste the Schlitz beer I'm going to make from it. I'm Frank Sellinger. Recently, I came to Schlitz as chief executive. Mostly, I check on the business end. But after 40 years as a master brewer, I check the barley, too, and the other fine grains to make a really smooth beer. Taste my Schlitz.
Friday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. It's the television premiere of Coma.
At Pioneer Bank, your house could be worth an enclosed garage, a remodeled kitchen, including built-in appliances, a family room, an extra bathroom, whatever improvement your house needs. At Pioneer, your house has borrowing power up to $15,000, even if you've never banked at Pioneer before. So talk to a Pioneer banker today, because the cost of buying a new house these days makes staying where you are a very smart move.
Pioneer and you. He would like to become a voice of the people. He would like to make a difference in Congress.
The third thing I'd like to do is the program I've talked about for 3 years. Work and vote to balance the budget. Work and vote to encourage people to work again. Work and vote to eliminate the arrogance of the federal government. Those are the 3 things I'll try to do. Probably take a lifetime.
Buddy Roemer, United States Congress.
Television 3, KTBS-TV, Shreveport.
This is Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers, and we welcome you back to Death Valley, where LSU starts the 4th quarter with a 2nd down and 5 at their own 25. Robbie Mahfouz in at quarterback, replacing Alan Richard. Mahfouz running the option, tries to turn it upfield, gets about 3 or 4 yards as he falls forward. Number 58, Keith Fourcade, the brother of Mississippi's fine quarterback, made the tackle. They'll mark it about 1.5 yards short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and more than 1 yard to go inside the 24, or excuse me, the 29. There's the score as we start the 4th quarter. LSU capitalizing on 4 turnovers by Ole Miss to get 24 of those 31 points. 3rd down and a long one. Mahfouz cannot make it. Number 72 breaking through, Woody Grigg, the sophomore defensive tackle, hauls him down for a loss inside the 30-yard line, very near the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 4th down, and LSU's punt team comes on.
Oh, Woody's been playing. Yeah, Woody's been playing all right. And number 72, Woody Griggs, that's a fine play. He comes off of a block, makes that hit, and he makes sure the ball is going backwards, not forward.
David Johnston, number 5, averaging over 40 yards a kick this season. Gets off a bad end-over-endo after a not too good a snap from center, and it goes out of bounds. The officials are walking it up. They will mark it very near midfield at the 49-yard line of LSU, or rather Mississippi. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, Les, what are you and Pam up to this afternoon?
Oh, we're just sitting around by the pool.
Jessica, darling, I just saw the most
Later on, why don't you guys come over?
When the people in Long Beach, California make phone calls, their voices are frequently transmitted by the world's first fiber optic telephone system providing regular service to the public. It consists of hair-thin fibers like this one, and the fibers now being installed can actually carry over 600 voices at once.
Gee.
No, GTE.
When every minute can cost you an acre, you need a chainsaw you can depend on. So you grab your Home Light going in, and before long, you're walking out a winner. And Home Light can make you a winner right now. Buy any one of these 5 selected chainsaws and get a rugged carry case free. Get the Home Light that's just right for you, and a carry case to go with it, free, from Home Light, the Chainsaw King.
Year after year, the epitome of excitement in college football is the LSU Ole Miss game. The student-athletes of these great universities battle with such intensity that they reach new competitive heights, an experience that strengthens them for future achievement in other endeavors.
LSU cheerleaders, and they have something to cheer about as they lead 31-10. Ole Miss has a 1st and 10, however, at their own 49. Fourcade to pass. Intercepted. Picked off by number 33, Alvin Thomas. And Thomas may go all the way. He's inside the 10-yard line before he's dragged out of bounds at about the 8 or 9 by Danny Jensen, number 23, one of the running backs.
That was some play. I mean, he anticipated that. He broke right in front of the receiver. Great defensive play.
Alvin Thomas, a sophomore from Donaldsonville, but there is a penalty marker on the return. Apparently it was thrown on the return as we look at it one more time.
Here's a play-action pass. He sets, he's got the man on the spot curl. He throws the football, but the free safety, guessing on the ball, breaks right in front of the receiver and really shows some speed. Now, Fourcade finally helps knock him out of bounds down here. And I know why he helped, because he's so mad because the guy, watch him come in and make the hit. I've done that before a couple of times. The guy's got one of mine.
Only you weren't as big as Fourcade.
No, I wasn't as fast. I never got there.
Clip, as you see, no, it is blocking below the waist is the indication against LSU, moving the football back into LSU territory at the 46.5-yard line. Stovall pacing the sidelines with a 31-10 lead. He is not real secure. A return of 53 yards on the interception is called back. 1st and 10 LSU at their own 46.5. Robbie Mahfouz running the option. Getting very near midfield as they spot the ball at about the 49.5. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 67, Danny Robertson, and 72, Woody Grigg, combined for the tackle.
Steve, the quarterback, Mahfouz, is also very quick.
Yes, he is. He doesn't appear to be quite as good a runner as Risher.
But he is quick.
There's Danny Jensen, who made the tackle following the interception return, exercising an apparently injured knee. We've had 10 turnovers today between the two teams. On 2nd down, Mike Muntz turns it upfield and gets into Mississippi territory at the 48-yard line of Ole Miss. 72, Woody Grigg, and 32, Joel Stewart make the tackle. 12:44 remaining in the game as you look at a big upset today. Mississippi State beating Alabama 6-3.
All right, I love this. Oklahoma, I mean, they put away the old North Carolina defense, 41-7. USC, of course, always tough, 21-7 over California halftime. I've seen Nebraska, and they probably have one of the best football teams in the country, 38-16 over Missouri.
On 3rd down, 5 yards to go from the 48 of Ole Miss. Mahfouz completes it to Greg LaFleur, his tight end, and LaFleur runs it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 27. 21 Melvin Brown and 41 Wally Cox make the tackle, but big Greg LaFleur took Mafu's first completion of the afternoon and ran it down into Mississippi territory at the 27. A gain of 21 yards.
All right, Notre Dame 33, Navy nothing. Notre Dame might be the best team in the country this year. Their freshman quarterback's playing very well. Georgia 13-10 over South Carolina. Great win for the University of Georgia. Ohio State beat Michigan State for their 7th loss.
Mafu is trying to run the counter option, cannot, as he's tripped up in the backfield by Keith Forcade, sophomore brother of John, and a fine linebacker back at the 30-yard line. A loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
This is a big game right here, Ohio State and Michigan State, but Michigan State lost their 7th game. Florida beat Auburn 21-10. Florida's having a great year. Virginia beat Tennessee.
There's an upset. Virginia playing good football, though. Hokie Gaijon breaks clear. Gaijon inside the 20, down to the 17. As he tried to cut it up inside and saw an opening on the corner, Johnny Burrow, 26, and Joel Stewart, 32, make the tackle. But Gaijon saw an opening and took it.
Maryland beat North Carolina State 24-0. I saw Maryland last week and they have a strong football team. 24-0, Maryland over North Carolina State.
Gaijon's run makes it 3rd down and 1 yard to go. A gain of 14 yards. Gaijon and Montz in the backfield. And Mahfouz tries to sneak it himself to pick up the 1 yard needed for the first down. As the officials want to take a closer look at it, they stop the clock with 10:39 remaining in the football game. And they're going to bring the chains on to take a measurement.
You know, Virginia beating Tennessee. You know, Tennessee's lost to 4 of the best football teams in the country. And you know, when you're taking nothing away from Virginia, but when you've lost to Alabama and Pittsburgh the last 2 weeks, it's a little difficult to get your football team excited for Virginia.
It is a first down as they measure it very carefully. And on a second try, indicate first down LSU. That's their 18th first down of the afternoon. And we're on into evening almost here in Baton Rouge as the sun is going down. At the 17-yard line of Ole Miss, as you look at an LSU Tiger fan. Mahfouz on the option on 1st and 10. It's across the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Robbie Mahfouz showing some quickness. Johnny Burrow made the tackle. But it's another good gain on first down for the Tigers.
Robbie Mahfouz, they have a fine-looking group of young quarterbacks there, and he looks almost as quick as Grisham.
Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. The ball just outside the 12. On the option, the pitch to Jude Hernandez. Hernandez down to the 6-yard line. Number 67, Danny Robertson, sophomore linebacker from Durant, Mississippi, makes the tackle. Jude Hernandez is very near another first down for LSU. And it is 1st and goal, Tigers inside the 6 of Mississippi. Hernandez now has carried 4 times for 39 yards. LSU with 9:20 remaining in the game, leading 31-10, threatening to put it away with a touchdown here. Mike Montz straight ahead. Montz fights for yardage and gets down to the 3. A pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Andy Shaw, number 99, one of the first players to him, the nose guard, a sophomore at 225 pounds.
This is the same trap they scored on the first time they had the football. A weak side guard trapping over the outside with a reverse spin by the quarterback, giving the ball. And I'll tell you what, he got stuck real good with the headgear there, but he's really fighting for yards.
Once again, touchdown. Mike Montz running it off tackle and good blocking on the corner by LSU as they closed it down, and Montz went in for another LSU score.
This was a wishbone they ran out of this time. They use it on the goal line only, and they got a great block, kick out, He went in the end zone almost untouched. And LSU has finally started to totally dominate the football game.
Gene Lang out of the backfield with a good block, and also the tight end Greg LaFleur, number 89, doing a good job opening up the hole for Montz. David Johnston on to attempt another extra point. Mahfouz will do the holding. And it's good. 8 minutes, 37 seconds now remaining in the football game. LSU has jumped out to a 38-10 lead as they have dominated here in the second half of play. We'll be back in a minute.
They wanted you to build bridges over rivers, but you had other plans.
And Monte Carlo.
Your car is the strikingly new 1981 Monte Carlo with the economy of a responsive V6 and fresh, clean, sharply sculpted lines. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
And Monte Carlo.
1981 Monte Carlo, a matter of personal pride from Chevrolet.
Right Guard knows a man sweats more than a woman. That's why a man needs Right Guard. Right Guard has a male effectiveness formula. A formula so strong, more men count on it to help stop perspiration odor every day. Right Guard knows there's a difference between you. Men perspire more. And that's what Right Guard's for.
Friday, December 5th at 8 Eastern, your favorite television stars come out fighting in a 2-hour special. It's an all-new Battle of the Network Stars, December 5th on ABC.
Don Barthel set to kick off for LSU. He's been busy this afternoon. Harmon and Harbor are back. And James Harbor takes it at the 5. Puts his head down and blasts it out to the 23-yard line, where Ole Miss gets the football back, 1st and 10. Sean Moore, number 28, a sophomore linebacker from Poplar Bluff, Missouri, made the tackle for LSU.
That's dangerous, those kickoffs, the way LSU has covered them. They're doing a fine job, and he put his hand down to protect himself. And he's going to get
A return of 19 yards. And John Forcade is back in at quarterback. He wants to put it up on 1st and 10. Intended for Breck Tyler and incomplete. Forcade has had a problem getting the ball to Tyler this afternoon, and that would really help him if they could do that.
A roughing the passer, they hit him late. There's a big penalty down there. And John is taking some real shots, and at this stage of the ball game, when they know he's going to pass, they have a tendency, I think, sometimes, of course, to try and punish the passer, not deliberately, but just because it's fun to rush the passer.
They're marking it off against LSU. As Pepper Rogers mentioned, roughing the passer against the Tigers. We'll bring it out across the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 38. And it'll be a first down. As you see, no, it is a face mask and not a roughing the passer. They must have grabbed John by the face guard.
Well, that's roughing.
Yeah, that could be very, very rough.
Yeah, if you've had your face, it was a quarterback penalty.
That is Forcade's 7th straight incompletion. He's had 3 interceptions as well. 1st and 10, Ole Miss at their own 38. Penalty marker goes down once again. Forcade, a long one, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Chris Williams, number 22, at the 29-yard line of LSU. But there is a penalty marker down in the backfield. The penalty may be against LSU.
No, the penalty was against the left tackle for Ole Miss. He was moving. I saw him move before the snap of the football.
We have 2 flags down, one at the line of scrimmage, one in the Mississippi backfield. Illegal motion against Ole Miss, declined obviously, and it will be an interception by Chris Williams, the 4th of the afternoon against Forcade, and the 2nd for Chris Williams.
Now you see the left tackle moving there on offense, and he's trying to get back and block that big quick tackle, and Forcade tries to throw the ball, running to his right, and Williams, I believe, is now within 1 interception of the SEC record in his career. He's a great defensive back.
He had over 20, I believe, coming into the game. 1st and 10, LSU. Robbie Mahfouz is in at quarterback and wants to put it up. Throwing long. Incomplete and underthrown. It was intended down the far sideline for number 26, Ephraim Coley, sophomore wide receiver out of Lake Charles. Joel Stewart was defending on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the LSU 29.
Steve, Forcade's last 7 passes, He's had 3 incompletes and 4 interceptions. And, the first half, he was having a great first half. And I hate to see him throw these kind of passes now and have this happen to him because he's a fine athlete.
That was the 19th career interception for Williams. 1 short of the record as Mahfouz runs the option. He gets it out to the 35 for a gain of 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Number 26, Johnny Burrow, made the tackle for Ole Miss. There you see the situation with 7:55 remaining. 38-10, LSU over Ole Miss. After a very tough, close first half, the Tigers have dominated here in the second half. Third down, 4 yards to go. Guy Jean in the backfield along with Gene Lang, number 25, behind Robbie Mahfouz, the backup quarterback. And now, they might have taken a little too much time. Play of game indicated against LSU, and they'll mark off 5. It'll be 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
They have the back judge keeping the time, man. You can't really see him or, they used to have the referee keeping the time, and he would tell you if you were taking too long, like you're not, speed it up, quarterback, speed it up. Well, they don't tell you anymore.
He's too far away, for one thing.
Right.
That's the 6th penalty on LSU today for 60 yards. We have 7:18 remaining in the game. The Tigers now with a 3rd and 9. Mahfouz to pass. And it's complete on the near sideline to Ephraim Coley. And Coley is out of bounds in Mississippi territory at the 49 and picks up much more than the needed first down yardage before Johnny Burrow trails him out of bounds.
That's a fine throw. Well, here we get a look at this. He's dropped straight back in the pocket. And he puts the ball right on the money. See him get his feet set? He put the ball right on the money, and it was a fine and well-executed play.
Gain of 21 yards. And 1st and 10 at the 49 of Ole Miss. LSU continues to move the football. This time not, however, as Mahfouz is dropped for a loss. Number 66, Brian Kennedy, sophomore defensive tackle at 6'4" and 225, was in there very quickly. A loss of 5 on the play, back to the 46-yard line of LSU. It'll be 2nd down and 15.
What's important here, Steve, is for Ole Miss to keep playing hard. It's important at this stage of the game that all your players make LSU fight for yardage and not give up and play with great tradition and pride.
On 3rd down, I thought I saw a penalty marker go down as Gene Lang carried just on a straight-ahead play for short yardage. And it appears that we have a holding infraction called against LSU. 99, Andy Shaw making the tackle on Lang. So the decision will rest with Ole Miss. And I probably think they'd decline it, though.
I don't know. If it's 15 yards, I'd take 15 yards.
It is a 15.
I wouldn't take 5. I'd take 15.
Well, it is 15, and they're taking it.
Right. I always
Good call,
15.
Coach.
Well, I always took 15.
The 7th penalty against the Tigers. And they now have 2nd down once again, but this time 27 yards to go at the 34-yard line of LSU.
Steve, the nice thing about calling them up here, they don't really count.
That's right. Jude Hernandez, number 13, is in at running back as Mahfouz drops back to pass on 2nd and 27. Now he's going to run, almost loses it, but gets it back and gets across the 35. Mahfouz juggling the football to the 38-yard line where 66 Brian Kennedy made the tackle. To show you how much LSU has dominated, just in the 3rd quarter, Mississippi had the ball for 29 seconds in the 3rd quarter.
I would say that was a big problem for Ole Miss. But you see, if Ole Miss had kept the ball and hadn't turned it over, the LSU wouldn't have had the ball so much. You just can't turn the ball over like they've been doing.
3rd down, 23 yards to go. Mahfouz to pass. Under pressure, gets it away. And it's complete to Greg LaFleur at the 32-yard line of Ole Miss. A big clutch 3rd down play as Greg LaFleur came up with a fine reception. Dwayne Naismith, number 20, was covering him on the play. And it's another 1st down as LSU overcomes the penalties and moves it back into Ole Miss territory.
You know, Steve, the big problem with playing man coverage is when you play man coverage, you can't see the quarterback. You're only watching the receiver. And Ole Miss was playing man coverage. The defender never saw the ball in the air, and only the receiver saw it.
And Greg LaFleur reacted. Straight ahead on the dive play goes Gajon. Nope, it's Gene Lang, number 25. As LSU continues to shuttle in those running backs. Brian Kennedy again making the tackle for Ole Miss.
Yeah, just going back to that last play, I was watching the Ole Miss defensive back, and he had the man covered, but he never saw the ball.
How about this one, Pepper?
Arizona 23. I just had UCLA number 1. Well, I know a lot about it.
Gene Lang again slips down as he crosses the 30. They'll mark it at the 29 of Ole Miss. No gain on the play. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. A reminder that we will be announcing the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players for each team, in whose name a $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to the school's General Scholarship Fund on behalf of Chevrolet. LSU has called a timeout now with 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the football game. The Tigers lead the Rebels 38-10. We'll return to Baton Rouge in a minute.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, all America style. Americans love weekends, not just the Saturday and Sunday kind, but whenever we take time to enjoy the good things in life, like the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Because all over America, Michelob helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Hey, put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, an exciting NCAA doubleheader starting at 12 Eastern. Check local listings for the games in your area, live on ABC.
Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as LSU now faces 3rd down and 8 at the 29 of Ole Miss. Robbie Mahfouz under pressure, trying to get it away. Penalty marker goes down, and so does Mahfouz finally. Back around midfield, Mahfouz forced all the way back there. Danny Robertson, number 67, was all over him. Bob Blakemore, number 88, in there as well.
Looks like a face mask. I saw one of the LSU players grabbing his face to show the penalty, and it looks like it's going to be a face mask penalty.
The flag and the ball are both at the 49-yard line of Ole Miss. The line of scrimmage was the 29. So Mahfouz retreated 20 yards on the play. And they're going to bring it back, however.
LSU, those two quarterbacks, Mahfouz and Risher, are really active and very good quarterbacks.
He did a great job to get away from the pressure. The penalty moves it down to the 15-yard line and gives LSU another 1st and 10.
This is very important for Ole Miss in this sense. You don't want to let them get the 40s. Now, you know, 30s is, you get beat 38, but you got to try and keep them out of the end zone just for pride, and football is a game of pride.
Eric Ellington and Jude Hernandez in the backfield. And it's Hernandez who takes it straight ahead and picks up short yardage. Getting inside the 15, they'll mark it at the 11-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. 59, Philip Wiley, the junior from Fairhope, Alabama, made the tackle, along with Carl Lewis, number 48, a freshman from Millbrook, Alabama. Clock running with 3:43 remaining in the game. LSU out on top, 38-10, and threatening to score once again. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. This time it's Ellington straight ahead. 5'9" freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, stopped by number 92, Kenneth Dotson. And here are the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players. For Ole Miss, James Otis, who had a great day defensively.
And for LSU, Alan Fisher, who had 74 yards rushing, 63 yards passing, 2 touchdowns running, and 1 passing. He played a great game.
Drescher with a great all-around game. Robbie Mahfouz is in now in place of him at quarterback. In those players' names, a $1,000 scholarship from Chevrolet to the school's general scholarship fund. Mahfouz running the option, spinning inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line. A gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Here's a decision the coach gets. It's hard for a coach. Now here's Jerry Stovall. If he kicks a field goal, looks like he's running up the score. If he goes for it, they know. I mean, you know, I don't know. You got to let you guys play football, and sometimes they run the score upon you. I've been on both sides of the game. It's really rough, but you got to play football with the guys that are out there, Steve.
That's right, and it's 4th down and 3, and they are going for it. Mahfouz on the option is hauled down behind the line of scrimmage at the 11 or 12-yard line. Andy Shaw, number 99, breaking in there along with 92 Kenneth Dotson. And so Mississippi turns them back. The Ole Miss Rebels will take over at their own 11-yard line with 2:14 remaining in the game and LSU leading 38-10.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly nonstop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Ole Miss following the unsuccessful 4th and 3 attempt by LSU. 1st and 10 as Forcade fires it incomplete, intended for Harmon, too tall over his head. It'll be 2nd and 10 at Ole Miss from the 11-yard line. We'd like to take a minute to thank some people who helped us in presenting this telecast for you this afternoon. LSU head coach Jerry Stovall and his staff. Ole Miss coach Steve Sloan and his staff. LSU sports information director Paul Manassa and his staff. And Ole Miss sports information director Ralph Carpenter and his staff. On 2nd down and 10, Forcade firing it again, this time to Harmon, who's open and has it near the 1st down yardage. As he falls forward, he could have enough for a 1st down. The clock stops at number 29, Linford Hobley, freshman from Shreveport, made the tackle. And apparently, it's going to be very, very close to a 10-yard gain as we look at it once again.
Well, we came, you know, he threw this pass to play before, and he overthrew him. And this time he gets set, hits him with a football just as he turns his head. It's a fine throw and a good catch. And looks like they're penalizing LSU.
There might be a late hit as the official on the play threw the flag after the tackle was made, and we'll see the indication of personal foul against LSU. Morris Harrison, our referee, indicating that as they tack on the gain out to the 36-yard line, ready to be 1st and 10 Ole Miss. In addition to those other folks we thank, we'd also like to thank our spotter, Bill Friel, our statistician and research by John Butera, and our booth assistants, Elliot Coward and Susan Higgs. On 1st and 10 from the 36, Forcade under pressure, gets it away over the middle and deep. Ken Toller has it at the 15, and he'll score. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
That was an outstanding play. He stood in there, he was set, he threw the football, he had a rush on him, and he hit him right on the money. That's a big play. Gets you a little satisfaction.
Here it is again, a 64-yard touchdown pass.
Now watch him stay in there. Watch the man go right by him, touch him. He makes the throw. He lays it right in there. Great catch, great concentration, and it's a touchdown. You see the blitz was on, and with man coverage, and you really have a very difficult time covering him 65 yards down the field.
Ole Miss going for 2 as Ken Toller, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi, scores on the touchdown play of 64 yards. Forcade flips it out to Kenny Hooper, who dropped it. Hooper had it. He was wide open. All he had to do was catch the ball and step in the end zone, and he only did one of them.
Well, you know, everybody says, well, he tried to run before he caught the ball, but he was running. Obviously, he just had to catch the ball. He wasn't standing there. Everybody's running.
Unfortunately, the two-point conversion fails. It is now 38-16 with 1:52 remaining in the football game. And Ole Miss will have to kick it off to LSU, and I wonder, Pepper, if they're thinking about an onside kick.
Oh, at this stage of the game, they figure they're going to win. They're going to go for it. They're going to get this one. They're going to score. They're going to get onside kick. Every coach in America has got 2 minutes left to play. He's going to get 3 straight onside kicks. Certainly they're going to try. That's the game of football.
That's an 89-yard scoring drive by Ole Miss. Only 3 plays, 64 of them coming on the last pass to Toller, and it took them only 22 seconds to score. Todd Gatlin, number 90, will kick off for Ole Miss. And it is an onside kick. Coming to the near sideline and going out of bounds before it went the 10 yards. The flag goes down. Obviously, you're not allowed to kick the ball out of bounds.
Well, they'll take the ball right
But they probably will, yes. They have their option of making them kick over or taking the football. And with the ball at midfield, that's the thing to do. There you see the time remaining, 1:52. And the little notation on the scoreboard didn't go 10 yards, it said.
Exactly right. And if it had gone 10 yards, they might have had a chance to battle them for it and kick the ball around a little bit and maybe get it. But at this stage of the game, LSU has been the best football team, and they've played very well. And you have to say that they are certainly in the conference race.
They certainly are. With Alabama losing to Mississippi State today, Georgia, of course, still unbeaten in the conference. Bobby Mahfouz at quarterback. Lang, the ball carrier, bouncing off the pile, spinning and running out to the 40-yard line. Gene Lang with good running ability gets it near the 40 of Ole Miss. 26 Johnny Burrow and 92 Kenneth Dotson combined for the tackle. Lang comes out of the game, a freshman from Pass Christian, Mississippi.
Well, he didn't look like a freshman with a football. Let me tell you what, he hit in there, and he wants to make some impact on this coaching staff because that's a fine run. He's got the ball properly put away. He makes yards after he gets hit, and that's what you got to judge him back on.
Gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. This time it's Eric Ellington who's close to the first down as he crosses the 40-yard line, wrapped up by Philip Wiley, the junior linebacker, number 59. And it is another LSU first down as they mark it at the 39 of the Rebels.
You know, Ellington is so quick. His knee hit the ground. They didn't see him hit the ground. I swear. He hit the ground. His knee hit the ground about 2 yards back, and he was up so fast, I don't even think they saw him.
They apparently didn't.
No.
Because they gave him the yardage. It's 1st and 10 at the 39 of Ole Miss. The clock running with exactly 1 minute remaining in the game. Lester Dunn, number 23, is in at running back as Mahfouz runs the option, keeps it, and gets it down to about the 37-yard line. 50, Lee Cole, a freshman linebacker who's done a good job on defense for Ole Miss today, made the tackle on Mahfouz. And Ole Miss calls a timeout with 47 seconds remaining in the game. Mahfouz looking around, find out what's going on, seeing if he wants to go over the sideline or not. And Stovall talking to him from the sideline. Jerry Stovall, Pepper, really has done an excellent job, and he took over this job under what might be considered adverse circumstances with the tragic death of Bo Ryan.
Yes, and yet in a way, I guess that was a rallying point for the team. Plus, I think he kept the whole staff. And we all know that assistant football coaches are really the strength of any football program because they are the ones who do the day-to-day coaching. And Jerry has provided the great leadership which is necessary from the head coach. And he should really be congratulated for having this kind of football team.
Eugene Daniel, number 16, is in at quarterback now as Mahfouz has his shoulder pads broken and is having them repaired on the sideline. On 2nd down and 9 yards to go. A fumbled exchange between Daniel and number 25, Gene Lang, but Lang falls on the football inside the 35. As LSU retains possession, Ole Miss calls another timeout with 42 seconds remaining. The Rebels now have 1 timeout remaining.
That's not very nice. You're calling timeouts when you're ahead 38-16. But I can't just. But that was the funniest looking play there. I think he missed the handoff, and it looked like to me he started one way and the back went the wrong way, and he sort of stuck it behind him, and it bounced off his hip pad and almost fumbled the football.
Eugene Daniel is the 3rd-team quarterback, a freshman from Baton Rouge, who's into the game in place of Robbie Mahfouz, who's, as we mentioned, having his shoulder pad repaired. But the Rebels stop the clock with 42 seconds remaining.
Oh, I see. No, that's good. It's Ole Miss calling time. It's not LSU, I was figuring to say. That's much nicer. Because Ole Miss still has a chance to win.
They didn't even take the equipment timeout for Mahfouz. They just put in their 3rd-team quarterback. And there he is. Eugene Daniel, a freshman who's getting some experience here late in the ball game with 42 seconds remaining. On third down. Fumble exchange again, and this time Eric Ellington has to come back and fall on the football as Eugene Daniel is having some problems coming into the game. Stone cold, probably, after standing on the sidelines all night.
Well, your fingers get a little nuppy and they get a little cold, and it's tough going in there, but still, there really shouldn't be any fumble from center. And
that's something that LSU's had a problem with really all year.
Well, they changed their center snap, they changed their centers, and but you just got to stay in there and get that football and make sure that you don't pull out before the center snaps the football, and the center can't move out before he's sure the quarterback's got the ball.
Well, he ran the punt team on, including number 5, David Johnston, the punter, and then Jerry Stovall changed his mind, brought the punt team off, sent the offense back out there, and Eugene Daniel again will be at quarterback, number 16. 33 seconds, as you saw a moment ago, remaining in the game. The ball at the 35 of Ole Miss, and it's 4th down and 6. This time Daniel gets it to Eric Ellington, and Ellington breaks it up the middle and inside the 20-yard line. Eric Ellington really showing some quick. Wally Knox, number 41, made the tackle in the secondary, the strong safety. But Eric Ellington is also a freshman, and that shows bright things ahead for LSU, Pepper.
Well, I guess where he's from Moeller High School. Here's that quick trap up the middle, and he has got some quick legs, quick feet, and he's a fine football player. But he's from Moeller High School in Cincinnati.
14 seconds remaining in the game. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Ellington again up the middle on the trap play, and Ellington gets inside the 15. 66, Brian Kennedy made the tackle as the clock counts down, and the end of the game comes here in Baton Rouge this afternoon. The LSU Tigers, with a strong second half, have defeated the Ole Miss Rebels and remain unbeaten in the Southeast Conference race, 38-16. We'll be back in a minute.
Want to know 4 ways to help get better gas mileage?
Tell us, Mr. Goodwrench.
First, Air Up. Keeping tires at recommended pressure can help save up to a gallon of gas per tank. Next, Tune Up. That can help save up to 2 gallons.
Wow!
Then, Clean Up. Get new filters. And Slow Up. You can go farther on a tank full.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Nice and thankful, Mr. Goodwrench.
With genuine GM parts.
Introducing the 1981 Chevy Malibu Sport Sedan. A solid, sensible car with a 6-passenger interior, impressive V6 mileage, a comfortable ride, plus a little something sensible cars are not ordinarily known for. Chevrolet introduces the Malibu Sport Sedan. A 4-door with a difference. A 4-door with pizzazz.
Welcome back. I see you brought a friend. My boss. Hasn't smiled the whole trip. I'm back. I think you'll like our beds.
Big room. Everything all right? That's fine. Call me for dinner in an hour. We made him smile.
Welcome to Holiday Inn, where your smile says,
My name is Mike Withers. I'm a State Farm insurance agent in Rockland, California, speaking for thousands of State Farm agents all over the country. We have various reasons why we think State Farm has maintained a reputation and people keep coming back to us year after year. My personal belief is that it's the service. We deliver when the policyholder has a problem. We sell on that basis and we deliver on that basis, and people keep coming back.
State Farm is there.
Steve Zabriskie, along with Pepper Rogers, welcoming you back to an emptying Tiger Stadium here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where this afternoon and this evening, the LSU Tigers have remained unbeaten in the Southeastern Conference, pushed their overall record to 6-2 on the year under new head coach Jerry Stovall, with a 38-16 victory of the Ole Miss Rebels of Steve Sloan. Thanks to Pepper Rogers for working with us, and be sure to stay tuned now as we're going to send you to Syracuse for further coverage on the Pitt-Syracuse game with Frank Broyles and Bill Fleming. Let's go now to Syracuse, New York.
In the third quarter,
Nebraska overcoming Missouri. And then Ohio State over Michigan State. That's a final. And Baylor, the third undefeated, untied team to go down to defeat today, was knocked off by San Jose State. So 3 teams out of 6 that were perfect coming into today's action have now been eliminated. You know your football? Who are the 3 remaining teams that are still undefeated and untied after this Halloween weekend?
2 of them, Notre Dame and Georgia, Bill. The other one would be Southern Cal is undefeated, but once tied.
And rolling out is Daniels, and he's got his man out of bounds.
Pass is complete to number 18, John Brown.
You know, there's 4. I just happened to realize there's 4. Because Alabama went down, North Carolina went down, UCLA and Baylor.
Yes.
So there are only 2 undefeated teams.
Right.
And they would be Notre Dame and Georgia.
3rd and 4th ranked Notre Dame and Georgia.
They're the only 2 in Division 1A, and we're just starting the month of November. Isn't that something? Wow. That's been the most devastating weekend I can ever recall.
I agree. I don't have
the elite anyway. On the cutback, not much. And with exactly 4 minutes to go, we'll have some more scores. Penn State winning, heading toward that showdown with Pitt on the 28th of November, which you'll see on ABC. Rutgers getting back to winning ways after losing a week ago to Syracuse. Delaware out in front of Villanova in the 3rd, and Yale over Dartmouth on a final. Harvard over Brown, a good tight game in the Ivy League. 3 minutes, 38 seconds to play. Pitt's out in front, 43-6. Just running that football and running the clock ahead, trying to get the first downs. Now with a 4th down, however, they're going to have to give up the football. Good to see Ed Coban running back onto the field. Thought he might have been seriously hurt there because that leg was underneath him. But fortunately, it was just an ankle turn, and after taping it up a little more heavily, he's back in the lineup. 3 minutes to go. Coban takes it at the 36. Oh, great roll tackle. Decks him right down at the 35-yard line. McQuaid was the one that got it.
Steve Zabriskie, along with Pepper Rogers, back at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, here on the campus of Louisiana State University, where the LSU Tigers have defeated the Ole Miss Rebels 38-16 before a near-capacity crowd somewhere in the neighborhood of 75,000. We hope you were with us for this doubleheader day here on ABC this afternoon. We started off with the South Carolina-Georgia game, a game that Georgia won. And if you haven't heard, and I'm sure you have by now, Alabama was upset 6-3 by Southern Mississippi, or rather Mississippi State today. And that has really thrown the Southeast Conference race into a quandary as you look at that Alabama-Mississippi State score, with LSU remaining undefeated by beating Mississippi here this afternoon. And, of course, Georgia defeating South Carolina. That was not a conference game, but they are, of course, still unbeaten on the year. And that means that the LSU Tigers, Pepper, are still in the race for the conference championship.
Oh, they're very much in it because they now have to play Alabama. They're playing in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama hadn't lost but one game at Tuscaloosa, and I believe that was in 1962 or 63. Now, that'll be a very difficult job beating Alabama over there because I'm sure Coach Brown will be quite upset, and his Alabama team will go back to work and practice like a team is not number 1. So it'll be a tough game.
All right, we'll be back to take a look at some more scores, but we want to tell you, first of all, that travel arrangements have been made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. Once again, the final score today was LSU 38, Ole Miss 16.
Sorry, no experience, no job.
But where do I get the experience?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place. It's a great place to start.
Now it's here, and it's crystal clear. Colt.
Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. Beautiful Hawaii becomes a background for danger when Dan Tana is betrayed by a beautiful woman and brainwashed to kill his boss, Philip Roth, on the special 2-hour season premiere of Vegas, Wednesday on ABC.
When the homeowners and veterans went to liberal Buddy Romer during the Constitutional Convention and asked for a $5,000 homestead exemption, he and his liberal friends said no. In fact, liberal Buddy Romer sponsored a measure which would make it more difficult to cut property taxes. But thank goodness for conservative Buddy Leach. When he was in the legislature, he led the fight to lower taxes for veterans and homeowners. Property taxes. Just another difference between liberal Buddy Romer and conservative Congressman Leach.
Now a scene from the Saturday big movie.
You're not just getting started. The line's been drawn. What Billy did balanced the books so far. But if one of your men cross my land or even touch one of my cows or do anything to that store, I'm not going to the sheriff, the governor, or the president of the United States. I'm coming to see you.
Mr. Chisholm, that sounds like a threat.
The Asthma Allergy Research Unit at Schumpert Medical Center is currently performing a research project in our schools. The purpose of this study is to establish standards of normal for all lung function tests used to diagnose and treat children with asthma and other lung disorders. By participating in this project, the children of our community have a unique opportunity to help develop information that will ultimately help children all over the world. Help us to help others. The Asthma Allergy Research Unit. Research for tomorrow, today.
Television 3, KTBS-TV, Shreveport.
Well, here we are back, and we've got the final stats on the football game. It was really so even, Steve, you can't believe it. You know, I can't tell you, it was 24 to 20 first down. Actually, the total yards was about the same, and yet LSU totally dominated the football game. That goes to show you what turnovers will do for you, and I was just really surprised at the way that LSU dominated the second half. You remember you said that what was that, 20-something seconds in the second half of the football?
About 29 seconds, Ole Miss had the football in the third quarter.
In the third quarter, so... And looking at the stats, you see something that's really misleading is that Ole Miss had the football for 36 minutes, 19 seconds, LSU for 23:41. But that doesn't mean anything when you get right down to it because the final score is the only thing that counts.
And turnovers, of course, were a big factor in this game today. This is Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as we look at scores of other games, particularly among top 10 teams.
Yeah, I love the scores. I love scores like Mississippi State, Alabama 3. Just really such a shocker, Steve. Mississippi State could run the wishbone and beat Alabama at their own game, but it has to be a great win for Emory Bellard, knocking off the #1 football team in the country. And, of course, UCLA, my old school out there, they thought they were going to be #1, but only until after Arizona beat them. And, you know, Larry Smith, that's a big win for him. He was the coach at Tulane over here last year and knocking UCLA out of the #2 position. Now, Notre Dame, of course, is the #3 team, but here Oklahoma put away North Carolina. They hadn't even let people pass the 50-yard line hardly all year long, and Oklahoma got that wishbone rolling, and 41-7 Oklahoma down at Norman, and I've been there also, and that's a very tough place to play football. Here we go, USC 33-7, and USC, of course, will jump way up in the rankings, and they can't go to the Rose Bowl the same as UCLA, but they have a very fine football team, and they will be a determining factor in the Rose Bowl race. Nebraska, I saw them play in person also on television. They beat Missouri 38-16, and they might be the best football team, or at least close to the best football team in the country. They really have an outstanding team, and they have fine offense, fine defense, and they're very tough to beat. Notre Dame, of course, beat Navy. Navy's always a well-coached football team without the talent that Notre Dame's got. But Notre Dame rolling right along in Dan Devine's last year, and looks like they'll be the #1 team at the end of this week. Georgia in a big win over South Carolina. Herschel Walker had a great day, 200-something yards over George Rogers, 168, 13-10. And I guess Rex Robinson kicked a 57-yard field goal to really iced the football game. That's a long kick, 57 yards. Of course, Ohio State 48-16 over Michigan State. That's Michigan State's 7th loss of the year. Ohio State certainly will move up in the rankings. They got an outstanding football team there. Florida having a great year after not winning a football game last year. They beat Auburn 21-10. And this is a big upset right here. Virginia 16-13 over Tennessee. Tennessee's lost four big-name schools and with great records, and they had a tough loss. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State 0-0 in the first quarter, and then Maryland beat North Carolina State 24-0. Georgia Tech lost to Duke 17-12, and that's the 7th loss for Georgia Tech. But Tech's always had a very difficult time playing up at Duke. I know.
All right, we'll be back as the College Scoreboard Show will continue here on ABC this afternoon. And remind you that LSU beat Ole Miss 38-16.
This eagle really flies because we chose these great new cars for Tyco's new Daredevil jump. Race them flat out. Then, up the ramp, and now in slow motion, they leap into space over the oil drums and keep right on racing. Now add more oil drums. Turn out the lights. The whole race lights up with excitement with Tyco's Night Glow. That's real night racing. Take off. The Daredevil Jump with Night Glow by Tyco, of course.
Alcoa can't wait.
Long before there was an energy crisis, Alcoa developed a window specifically to save energy. Beautifully designed and precisely engineered, it employs welded edge panes of insulating glass in a unique sandwich of pre-painted aluminum, rigid vinyl, and double weather stripping. The Alcoa insulating window, a beautiful energy saver that was ready right when America needed it most.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium, which looks quite different now than it did just a short while ago when there were probably close to 76,000 here on hand for the LSU Ole Miss game. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as we continue to bring you up to date on college football scores.
All right, here's a big game. Clemson 35, Wake Forest 33. That's really must have been an exciting football game, and Clemson made a comeback to win that football game. We have, of course, Michigan 35 over Indiana 0. And that's a big win for Michigan. Indiana's been playing real good football, and now Michigan has put them away 35-0. Purdue 52-31 over Northwestern. Northwestern has a tough time against a great team like Purdue. Minnesota 21-18 over Illinois. Minnesota came back to win that football game. Here's a big state game. I've been in this one. Kansas 20, Kansas State 18. That must have been a great win for Don Fambro. Western Michigan 13, Ohio 7. Great rivalry there between Western Michigan and Ohio. Ball State 21, Bowling Green 24. Two teams there in the big state of Ohio battling it out. Northern Illinois 35, Kent State 14. That was a big win there. All right, 35 for Eastern Illinois, Northern Michigan 28. That's a final score.
Let's remind you that next week we'll have another doubleheader for you on NCAA college football here on ABC, so be sure to check your local listings for the games and the times in your area. This is Steve Zabriskie for Pepper Rogers saying so long from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where Ole Miss lost to LSU 38-16 this afternoon. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain. The Love Boat sails at a special time on a 2-hour cruise to the Caribbean for a huge marriage marathon. Then a beautiful blonde mermaid convinces Mr. Rourke to make her fully human on Fantasy Island, tonight on ABC.
On May 18, 1979, station KTBS was granted the license by the Federal Communications Commission to serve the public interest as a public trustee until June 1, 1982. Each February 1st, we place in our public inspection file a list of what we consider to have been some of the significant problems and needs of our service area during the preceding 12 months, and some of our programming to help meet those problems and needs. We invite listeners to send specific suggestions or comments concerning our station operation and programming efforts to KTBS TV, Post Office Box 44227 Shreveport. That's KTBS TV, Post Office Box 44227, Shreveport, Louisiana 71104. Unless otherwise requested, all letters received will be available for inspection during regular business hours.
Television 3, KTBS TV, Shreveport.
to the Lawrence Welk Show. Now, here's your host, Mr. Maestro Lawrence Welk.
Greetings, friends, and a warm welcome, everybody. This evening, we honor our great country on the occasion of our national election. Every candidate hopes to be a winner. And here's a song that expresses their feelings. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This next song was a special favorite of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Let's enjoy it now with Jim Turner.
Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play. A discouraging word, and the skies are not